All right, let's roll. The whatever day it is, show has begun. The Wicked Wednesday, the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people that busted with everybody else in between. From Costa Rica to California, Montreal to Minnesota, Winnipeg to Weehawken. As we throw it down as the Lakers are getting thrown down right now. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? I never take LeBron James and the Lakers, but we do tonight, and we're paying the price for it this evening. And, you know, people can get into this greatest of all time crap and stuff, and I don't want to do it right now. But I'll tell you right now, the greatest player of all time wouldn't be fucking losing as a 9-point fucking favorite in his return against a fucking team that has 2 wins. I'm just saying, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, he's a great player and shit. He's a modern great player. He's the best player of this era and stuff. But like a lot of players in this era, he doesn't have that extra edge. He's a great guy. He's a great businessman. He's a great fucking player. But enough with it that he's the best fucking ever, all right? For the best player ever, he loses a lot of fucking games, man. Oh, the teams he's on. Yeah, whatever, dude. All right, he's been in the league for fucking 12, 13 years, whatever the fuck it is. He's lost a lot of fucking games, man. You know, he's good, he's great, but he's not the best ever. So let's just drop that bullshit right now. And this will be my fucking argument for the rest of eternity. Oh, it's a regular season game. Yeah, no. He's returning back home to Cleveland. He's a 9.5-point favorite against a 2-win team, and they're losing. Is he even fucking playing? I don't know. I've been watching the game for a fucking couple of minutes. I never see him. I see fucking guys on the Cavs. I see CeCe Osman hitting shots left and right. Like, you know, like I said, you know, it's just there's so many games where he just sort of is just there. You know, if he's really into it, yeah, he's fucking great. You know, you figured he'd be really into it. I know. I was thinking, well, it was a distraction, and we'll cut him a little slack and shit. I mean, fuck, it's fucking. Are you kidding me? I mean, they're getting killed. How many points does he fucking have, anyways? It's a fucking embarrassment. Speaking of embarrassments, fuck CBS fucking sport. Their fucking website sucks as of late. Like their fucking scores are never fucking right. Their box scores are never right. Always a fucking shit show. Get your shit together, fuck. LeBron James got 21 points. 21 points, 10 rebounds. Yeah, whatever. Jordan Clarkson fucking has 17 points. So we appreciate you joining us here this evening. I told you guys this, and listen, I've been betting smaller units over the last couple of days. And I think tonight, you know, we'll sort of, you know, we told you this, man. People don't listen, though, so whatever. But then you act all surprised when this shit happens. I told you. The NBA is a fucking twilight zone right now, man. All right? Like, what happened with the Boston Celtics tonight? Boston Celtics were 14-point favorites. Fuck, they lost outright. 117-09. I guess Brad Stevens is a fucking genius, though. Best coach in the league. Fucking rename the Larry O'Brien Trophy after Brad Stevens. Fuck. The way fucking people talk about this guy, too. Oh, Brad Stevens. Oh, my God. Well, yeah. I know Brad Stevens got most talent in the fucking league. I never made it to the NBA Finals. Fucking underachieves on a nightly basis, but I know he's the greatest ever, too. Fuck. Oh, Brad Stevens, great coach, best coach. Fuck. Better than Casey, better than these other guys. Yeah, I guess. Fuck yeah, if you're a fucking public sheeple that believes in a public narrative. I always talk about that perception and reality. I always talk about a perception and reality. And whenever like the public sort of or the media gets into something, they start to, the public sort of buys in. Mike McCarthy's the latest one. It's like fucking Packers went 3-0. Better fire Mike McCarthy. Like, it's just, there becomes this sort of narrative. And I could be a dick more often than I am, to be honest. Like, I could ask someone, all right, like, so what call specifically do you want McCarthy fired for? Like, specifically, like what, and also, and who are you hiring after? Well, yeah, I think he should be fired. I heard he sucks. It's like, yeah, he's not perfect, but do I think Golden State gets the win tonight? I don't know. I don't know. I like Aaron Rodgers too. Aaron Rodgers fucking post a video. Hey, support the firefighters and donate money, to the fire and everything in California. And Aaron Rodgers' brother goes on Twitter and says, yeah, support the firefighters, but it'd also be nice if you called your mother who's fucking stuck in the middle of a fire. But thanks for caring anyways, Aaron. It's like, wow. Okay. I didn't see that one coming. What's up, Jerry T? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a weird dude. I'll get back to the Oklahoma City game, but Aaron Rodgers is a weird dude. And I'm not saying he's a bad dude. You can't get into people's family situations, right? Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I don't talk. I'm estranged from pretty much everyone in my family too. It's pretty crazy because I wasn't for years, but shit turned and it happens. So they fucking probably think I'm the biggest asshole in the world, and I know they're the biggest pricks in the world. So Lakers are getting schooled now. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but we've talked about it in the past. Like a lot of players that have left Green Bay after sort of, say, after they play with Aaron Rodgers, they're like, yeah, he's good. He's all right. Like, it's like, yeah, he's a good quarterback. That seems to be like the gist of it. There's been more than a few. Like almost all of his wide receivers after they leave, they're like, yeah, he's kind of a dickhead. He's good. They all say he's not a leader. That's the thing. Like McCarthy can get blamed. I'm tired of talking about the Packers all the time, but McCarthy can get blamed. But that's what I talk about. Like Rodgers is the leader of the team, and he doesn't lead very well, evidently. I think Rodgers is just sort of a superstar, aloof guy. He's not like a lot. He's very, very unique. So he probably doesn't, he's not going to have a lot of common with people. Like he doesn't hang out with people on the team very much. Now, not every quarterback does. Most quarterbacks don't. Like Colin Kaepernick's a big hero right now and shit, but Colin Kaepernick's teammates never liked him. They didn't dislike him, but I remember even when they were good, I swear to God, I remember when the Niners were good, somebody on the Niners said, and it was like anonymous player. They said, it's fucked up that they said he's really good, but they said, I don't think he likes it. They said, I don't think he likes playing football. Like he doesn't. And they said, like, I always knew that about Kaepernick. They said he doesn't like it. Like he's just good at it, but he doesn't like being in the room. He doesn't like the practices. He doesn't like the football culture. He doesn't like jocks. And I swear when they went to the Super Bowl that year, there was criticism of Kaepernick that Harbaugh even told them. And Harbaugh was his boy, right? They were tight as fuck. And Harbaugh told him, listen, you got to fucking talk to the guys more. Like, just a bit. Like, you got to force yourself. Like, and like, because Kaepernick used to wear headphones all the time. And so he was disconnected from everybody. That's why, like, the whole thing with Kaepernick being a martyr and shit, it's not, it is and it isn't true. Like, Kaepernick didn't like football. Like Kaepernick made a decision. I'm going to go out with a bang. He didn't say, oh, I'm playing and I'm protesting. Like, that's the misconception. Kaepernick knew exactly what he was fucking doing, all right? Kaepernick, like, knew. Kaepernick, like, dude, Chip Kelly, it was the same shit. Everyone said, oh, my God, Chip Kelly and Colin Kaepernick, this is a match made in heaven. And Chip Kelly came out of the fucking meeting with him, and he said, holy fuck, man, this kid, like, I don't even think he wants to fucking play. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess Kaepernick was just sort of, yeah, all right, yeah, new offense, all right, yeah, all right, sure. Like, fucking Kaepernick was just sort of, like, you know, sort of aloof with him and shit, and he ended up losing a job to Gabbard. Fuck. That wasn't because of protests. That was because Kaepernick had tapped out. Kaepernick never cared. Kaepernick never was passionate about football. Kaepernick fucking went to the Super Bowl and shit with Harbaugh, and Harbaugh was gone. And, if Harbaugh was there, this shit never happens. Colin Kaepernick never takes a fucking knee. This shit, I guarantee you, never happens if Harbaugh's there. Harbaugh wasn't there, so he was like, whatever, fuck. The one guy that I sort of respected is gone. And I don't even like this shit. I don't like Chip Kelly. I don't even like my teammates, fuck. I think they're all jarheads. So, I don't even want to fucking be here. And then, you got Chip Kelly chirping and shit. And basically he was like, fuck this. And he became the backup. And then that's when it sort of started. He put the pig cops, the socks on. He started wearing Castro shirts. Like, that's when it started. Yeah, he basically, exactly. What up, Ghetto? Good to see you. It's like he wanted out. Like he not just out of San Francisco. He didn't want to be traded. He wanted out of the league. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, man, but like Kaepernick used to be like really in good shape and shit. And he showed up when Chip Kelly was there, like almost looking like me, fuck. Like he was all skinny. It looked like he didn't hit a weight room like in fucking months. He had like some sort of alternative girlfriend. It was the girlfriend too. It's always women. It was a chick that got all this shit in his head too. I remember at the time, I like Kaepernick. I used to follow the Niners very closely. So I sort of saw the unraveling and whatever, man. He started reading, books and literature and fucking, he's banging some hot fucking chick that's like sort of some smart chick that, fuck the system and you're getting played and blah, blah. And, next thing you know, Kaepernick's fucking, Martin Luther King. Fuck. But as I stated, like the whole misconception. Another thing about Kaepernick is too, I'm tired of it. And I defend Kaepernick all the time, but I'm tired of seeing people talk about him. Like, it's like, oh, the Redskins signed Mark Sanchez. Fuck. What about Colin Kaepernick? Mark Sanchez would fucking play fucking in my living room right here if I paid him to, all right? Like, Mark Sanchez is willing to show up for anything. Like, Mark Sanchez is going to stay in the NFL for as long as possible. Like, he doesn't care. You pay him the league minimum, he's there. Hey, Mark, fuck, we need a backup. I'm there. You know what I mean? The guy's just there. Fuck. Colin Kaepernick has agents. Colin Kaepernick wants $12 million a year. Like people never bring that part up. Oh, how does EJ Manuel get a job and not Colin Kaepernick? Well, it's pretty simple. EJ Manuel asked for $875,000. All right? Colin Kaepernick asked for $12 million. Like, they do the math. Like, the people are so stupid, man. I don't know. That's years from now. What about Kaepernick? It's like he's 50, all right? It's over. Kaepernick hasn't been a good quarterback in fucking 6 years, man. He hasn't cared about football in 4 years. That's the whole thing. Oh, Kaepernick this. Oh, I'll bring him back. He doesn't want to come back. Like, I guarantee you, like right now, Colin Kaepernick, as we speak, isn't sitting here thinking, fuck, man, I wish I was in the NFL. He's not. He's not. You know what I mean? He's not. It's true, Brooks. Sanchez. Sanchez. Yeah, I respect it. I respect all these guys. I respect all the guys. I really do. I respect the player that hangs on like over my cold, dead fucking, body, dead hands. Are you going to fucking kick me out of this league? Like, and that's the way most people go. It's like media. Fuck, look at me. I've been hanging on like, dear life type shit. Like, you cling to these things and it's tough for these guys. So I'm not judging them. Right. So the guys that hang around forever, God bless them. They're warriors. They battle. They're fighters. They'll never quit. I respect the hell out of them. But I also respect the guys that leave on their own. Like, there's no rule that says you need to fucking leave the NFL in shame. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, a lot of people just sort of like Sanchez now. Like, he's going to hang on. He doesn't care. He'll bounce around and whatever. There's other dudes that's like, whatever, man. I'm done. Like, bye. There's some dudes that just tap out and people are like, oh, Ricky Williams, he's crazy. Why? The guy was a multimillionaire. He fucking played in the NFL. He's one of the greatest college running backs of all time. And he said, I'm done with football. Ricky Williams and Kaepernick remind me of you. Ricky was funny because Ricky Williams wasn't really a martyr, but he sort of was. He got the weed movement going, and Ricky Williams sort of showed everyone, listen, it's just a fucking game, guys. Like, chill out with the seriousness of this shit. The only thing that Ricky shouldn't have done, he shouldn't have taken all the money from the Dolphins. He should have told them, listen, I don't really like this. I kind of leave, It's like my friend, my buddy Heath Herring. Heath quit the UFC earlier than he could have. He was young. Heath retired at like 30, 29 or something. He was 28, 29. And, he was pretty much at the top of it. He was never going to be a champion, but he was fighting top guys. He was making a lot of money by UFC standards in those days. Think about it. All the way back then, he was making $140,000 a fight. So he was making and he would fight like 3 times a year. So he was making, and plus his sponsorship, he was making nearly $1 million a year type thing. $500,000, 700,000, depending on the year and shit. The only thing is, he was fighting Brock Lesnar. He's fighting, Nogueira. Like, you fight Brock Lesnar, you're fucked up for 4 months after. I mean? It's not like you just show up that night and it's all good after. You're screwed up for a long time. But I remember Heath's exact words to me, man. He said, there's better ways to make $100,000 than getting punched in the face by Brock Lesnar. It made sense, He told me, he goes, I have a degree from fucking Baylor and shit. Like, Heath was a smart guy, like fucking like science something too. He's like, he goes, I just did that. I just started fighting because it was easy. He goes, I never even really liked it. Like, he fought the UFC for 12 years in Pride and shit. After he tells me, he goes, I never really even liked it that much. He goes, but, because I was making money and I was just sort of fun. But he goes, I'm done with that shit. Mark Bocek said the same thing. Mark Bocek made $40,000 a fight. He told me, he goes, I fight 2 to 3 times a year. And he goes, I can make $100,000 fucking teaching 8-year-old kids jujitsu instead of fucking get punched in the face by guys on steroids. The Lakers take the lead. Good for them. Yeah, it's a good point too, Drew. Like, it's not good for you, like, psychologically, to be getting beat up and shit all the time. You guys know I'm friends. I was good. I don't speak to these guys anymore too much. Once in a while, I will. I haven't spoken to Heath in a couple of years. Maynard, we text each other once in a while, but he's always changing numbers and shit. But like Maynard like got very depressed, like, from losing. Heath didn't care. Like, Heath didn't get depressed from losing. Like, that was the one thing. Heath Herring did not care about losing. Like, after that, he wouldn't give a shit. It was just money. Like, it was just money. You know what I mean? He was fighting for money. He wasn't fighting for anything else. That's the thing with the NBA, actually. That's the thing with the NBA. When people, and listen, the NBA, these guys do care. But football and basketball are the two sports where there's a lot of players who don't really love the sport. You know, they don't love it. You know, they're there because they're big. You know, you think every guy in the NBA loves basketball, or do you think they got pushed into this in high school and like, listen, you're fucking 6'8" in high school already. And, you know, I'm not saying they hate it, but, and it's funny because an NBA player told me this. I was talking to him about it. He goes, you know, there's a lot of guys that are in the league. He goes, they're just sort of here because they're big. And, you know, that's what they do. Like, they don't love the game. And football players, same thing. I know a lot of football players. I remember one guy, he told me, I asked him for picks once, and he goes, I don't watch football. And he goes, I'm serious. He goes, I don't watch games. He goes, I don't even really like fucking football. He goes, I just do what the coach tells me to do. He goes, and this guy was a fullback. He goes, coach tells me to block, I block. Like, he goes, I just physically do what they tell me, but he goes, I don't give a shit about this fucking sport. There's a lot of dudes like that. Like, it's different. Like baseball, no one just can play baseball. You can play basketball. Like, God can put you in the NBA. And I'm not saying that every guy that's 7 feet or 7'2" or something can be an NBA player, but if you're 7'2" and you try, you'll be an NBA player. You know what I mean? For the most part, you know, like if you have that ability, like if you're a big kid, like there's, you know, seriously, like look at all the obesity and stuff. There's a lot of like fat kids and shit. Whatever. You could be a fat kid who gets laughed at, or you could be a fat kid who makes a lot of money and wins Super Bowls with Tom Brady and be an offensive lineman, right? So there's a lot of people that get pushed into these sports that they don't really love it. Yeah, it's not a passion. Like baseball, you gotta love it. You know what I mean? Like there's no like, oh yeah, I have this natural ability to hit a baseball. It's like, no, you gotta put the work in. You've gotta, you know, it's like you gotta feel like hockey, same thing. You know, you gotta grind in hockey, man. Like everyone's the same size. You know what I mean? Everyone's 6 feet, everyone's 6'1", 6'2". It's not like, oh yeah, this guy's fucking 6'6", 370. A good example is my friend Dave DeLaPrelle. My buddy Dave DeLaPrelle played pro football. He's 6'7", 350. He's a giant of a man, and I don't think he loves football. I don't think he has a passion for it. You know what I mean? Like, he liked it. He played it. You know, he played with Tim Couch. He played at Kentucky. He played in CFL for a bunch of years after. And, you know, when he retired, he wasn't torn up about it or anything, you know? I think he was sort of relieved. Like his father was a football coach, so he was a big dude. He didn't have a choice, you know? What are you going to do if you're 6'7", 360? How do you not play football? I actually think that sometimes. I see these monster dudes sometimes on the street. Like there's one dude in Toronto. He's like homeless. The guy's massive. I always wonder. I wanted to ask him, like, dude, like, why aren't you just an athlete before? Like, what happened to you? Like, dude, like there's this one homeless guy in Toronto. He's literally like 7'3". He's a monster of a man, and he's not like skinny and nimble. Like he's a big fucking dude, man. And he walks the streets like 24 hours a day. I see him all the time, man. I always think like, man, this guy could be playing basketball in Europe right now or something. Like, fuck. Now, it's too late now because you need the skill. Okay, so, yes, his dad is Earl DeLaPrelle. That's right, ATS Stats. Earl DeLaPrelle. See, exactly, Kyle. Exactly. Like Kyle knows what I'm talking about. Like there's dudes, they just do it. You know, it's just what they do. Like if you play hockey or something, you got to really love it. You know. Yeah, it's too late. We're not going to cover the number though, Lomas. Good to see Lomas. We're not going to cover them. All right, my late night pick. I'm taking Arizona +9 against Auburn. I'm taking Arizona +9 against Auburn, and I've got the over. I'm staying away from the NBA game. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't just bet games because it's the glamorous teams and shit. I don't know who's going to win. But on the other side of this, I do think that I don't know. I just don't think Auburn should be 9-point favorites against Arizona. I don't have like a million reasons to tell you I know Arizona got blasted in the second half last night by Gonzaga, but as we saw today, Gonzaga are pretty damn good. And I don't know, like Auburn -9 seems high to me. Yeah, Sun Youth. Hey, what up? You from Montreal? Sun Youth in the house. Sun Youth Hornets, baby. Sun Youth crushed it this year. Every time I'm on Twitter, I see they won another championship. I was going to be, I got the Redskins plus the points. Ottawa, good shit. Good junior football up there. Yeah, I got the over in the Auburn Arizona game. This is going to be a fun game. Like, and honestly, I don't even have access. I don't really feel like bothering Cam right now. Where's Jazz? Is Jazz in the chat? We'll get into the NFL in a couple of minutes. Yeah, but I was going to be look, I didn't know I was going to leave Montreal. I did. Hey, what's up, Jazz? Maybe we'll get a play in on this fucking Oklahoma City game after all. So yeah, when I was in Montreal, before I left, before I knew I was going to move Montreal, I was very involved in a football community in Montreal. I was the president. I was the honorary president of the league and shit. Be good if this game goes to overtime. Maybe we'll get lucky. So I was the president of the league and shit. And I also wanted to, I was going to become a coach. So, like, I asked Earl, I said, all right, listen. I said, I was actually thinking, like, I'd be a good football coach, too. So I asked him, I said, all right, how do I, what do I got to do to become a football coach? And basically, I had to start off at the bottom. And he said, I got to put you on. And he goes, I think you would be good. I used to go to the practices a few times. He saw me interacting with the kids and shit. And he goes, I think you would be good. And he goes, basically, yeah. He goes, you start off. And I was going to start off not with the elite team, but like with the JUCO team type thing. They have like 3 teams. You know what I mean? There's like there's like the little kids, the fucking, 12 to 14. And then there's the elite kids that are going NCAA and shit. And I was going to start off as a fucking assistant special teams coach with the 14-year-old kids. And he basically told me, too. He goes, football. Like, Earl was really supportive of it. He's like, football. You're good with the kids. He goes, I got to, you work your way up the ladder. But he goes, within 2 years, you'll be fucking an assistant. And he goes, couple of years, you'll be a head coach if you want. And he goes, but you got to stay out of trouble. He told me, because you got to stay out of trouble. Eh? Like, I was like, yeah. He goes, you got to take this seriously if you're going to do this. I was like, yeah, I'm serious. Like, then I moved to Toronto. You imagine like me fucking like leaned over and like fucking with the headset on and like you can too. Like I can picture myself doing it. I'd be like, all right, let's go, guys, let's go. And the thing is, Sun Youth is competitive too. It's not like it's just some mom soccer dad league here. You know what I mean? Like Sun Youth Hornets play competitive football. So like it would have been like competitive. I would have been into it. Like fucking like, these kids are going to the NCAA and shit. Yeah, little Rangers. Yeah, it'd be great. Like on the rain, I have my hood up and the headset. Yeah, listen, I want to run the ball a little bit more here. I'll be honest with you. If I was a coach, I would have a pass-happy offense. I would have that air raid shit too. I'd have everything spread out and fucking reverses and shit. I'd basically run the Rams offense. I'd throw the ball, but then I'd pound the rock. I'd mix it up. I'd be a great play caller. I tell you what, I'd be the best play caller ever. I'd be like left, right, middle, deep, short. I'd fucking have the defensive coordinator like crying. Fuck, stop. All right, Jazz. Yeah, I'll send you the text now, Jazz. 109, 105. All right, what's the updated number here in this game? Fucking Brooklyn Nets are pretty good this year, man. I knew they were going to be good. I'm on the Mavericks right now. I got the Mavericks like -5, 5.5. They're up by 4 with like 3 minutes left. We'll see what happens here. But Oklahoma City Thunder are favored by 1. The total is 223.5. Like, really, this is what it's come to. We took I mean, I don't know. That's the thing with this game. I'm thinking about, I don't even want to side. I'm thinking I might bet the over here. But there's like a dichotomy. Oklahoma City go over, but Golden State go under because Golden State can't score. Like we're in, like I said, we're in the twilight zone here now. Sunday. Like I don't know where the points are going to come from. You got Durant and you've got Klay Thompson. You got no Draymond Green. I think Draymond's out, right? So you got no Draymond Green, and you got no Steph Curry. So, wow, look at this. Holy fuck. If I bet the under, I'm going to lose. But look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 6 times these guys have played, it's gone under the number. 108, 100, 111, 107, 112, 80, 125, 108. It's gone under 6 times in a row. Except Oklahoma City are pretty much an over machine. Fuck. Like they play high-scoring games. Meanwhile, Golden State can't score. I think the under is the play. I think the under is the play. Oh, fuck, the game started right now. I just sent you the message, guys. I'm taking the under. Just put it in the end game here. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're taking the under, and yeah. I'll run the ball inside the 5. No, the morning show is not on tomorrow, but I'm not off. I'll be on at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be doing a special NFL Thanksgiving show. And it should be a shit show because I have to go to the studio in the middle of the fucking Macy's Thanksgiving fucking Day parade, and my studio is right across the street from fucking Macy's. I don't know. I don't know where the parade. See, I don't know if it ends in the area, but I don't think it's right around there. Like I don't even know where it goes. The hotel is packed. Perfect. Yeah. I knew the parade wouldn't be in front of MSG and shit. Exactly. Should be interesting meeting our boy in the morning through the parade. I warned him. I said, hey, by the way, there's a parade. Thank you, Iggy. Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow from 10 to 12 with Greg Sussman and Mike Blewett. Interesting crew. And then I won't be there this weekend. And then there's no shows until then. No Red Heat and Rage even. Everyone's off. It's like a little vacation for everybody. So no vacation for me. I'm doing a little mini NFL show. And then I'm going to Toronto on Friday. Fuck. I'm going to Toronto on Friday. I'll be in Toronto Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'll be back Sunday night. And we'll be back on Monday morning. I'm taking every underdog tomorrow, Carlos. I'm taking every underdog tomorrow. I'm taking the Detroit Lions. Except somebody asked me if tomorrow's a good day for a teaser. And yes, indeed, I think it is a good day for a teaser. Tomorrow, I think teasers are in play. I don't know. I don't know what I have stop nuts. I guess. Yeah, I do have a Motorola. I'm taking every underdog tomorrow. That's right. And in fact, DeMarco, that's the game I like the best. That's my best bet of the day tomorrow. And in fact, it's the best bet of the week. I have won my solitary best bet of the week like 6 weeks, 7 weeks in a row now. It's pretty crazy, actually. If I only bet like my one game and put like 4,000, I'd be rich. Every week for like the last 2 months, I've looked and there's been one game where I'm like, that's the game. And you know, it's this is the hardest week yet. One of the hardest weeks yet. It really is. It's a hard week. All right, let me just see what I got here. I got a bad number. I got 212 now because I missed the tip off. Son of a bitch. It's 10-8 right now. Slow start. We got Oklahoma City as well. So it happens. Like that's what sucks when you bet online and you're not in control of things fully. So I wouldn't have bet the 212. I didn't think it would be that low. I thought we'd get like 218.5 or something, you know. So looking at the NFL tomorrow, yeah, we'll bring Babano in here in a couple of minutes. We'll bring Babano in. We'll talk about the NFL. But yeah, so as I was saying, my solitary game, the best bet. We've been nailing it, and I swear, tomorrow the game I liked the most was the Falcons. When I first looked at the numbers this week, I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "Man, I like the Falcons." And I haven't lost that much. I haven't picked on the Saints too much. I haven't ridden the Saints enough as much as I should have, but I've learned my lesson. Like I don't know, about 5-6 weeks ago, I saw. I'm like, "Man, this Saints team's fucking good." I realized that early, and I got burnt with the Bengals game. I didn't mess with the game last week with the Eagles. I got burnt with the Bengals. I was wrong about that one. Yet I won't be wrong about this one tomorrow. This is the one. Johnny Public will be all over the Saints tomorrow night too. The line should go up, but it's frustrating because every person that I tell, you know, Johnny Public's all going to be all over fucking the Saints. Oh, you're crazy, Atlanta. It's like, yeah, but the real bettors that bet this shit down to 12.5. I was hoping it would go up by the public, but the sharps are all over this shit. The so-called sharps. So-called sharps are all over this shit. I've been around a long time, all right? And I know pretty much every rivalry. I'm a little tired today, so I can't do trivia now. But I don't need to look up anything. You know what I mean? Like if you ask me what happens in the Bills and the Dolphins, I will tell you. Well, for the last 7 years, the Bills have dominated, but before that, they won 8 in a row. Like pretty much every rivalry, I know the little scenarios, right? And I told you guys this. Everyone's, the outsiders laugh and shit. Oh, yeah, he's taking fucking Seattle against the Rams earlier this year. Yeah, what happened? They lost by 2. Last week, same 2 weeks ago. Oh, he's taking Seattle again. Oh, the Rams will kill him. What happened? They lost by 4, right? Why? Because I know that the Seattle Rams series, it doesn't matter who's on the fucking team. It doesn't matter who's coaching. It just always has been close. There's certain rivalries that history repeats itself all the time. And this Saints one is exactly a rivalry that repeats itself all the time. The Saints and the Falcons. It's always been an underdog rivalry, and it's always been a road team. Therefore, the underdog, etc. And the numbers signify this in a big time way as well. The New Orleans Saints are 3-16 against the spread all time against the Atlanta Falcons if laying more than 6 points. The New Orleans Saints are 1-10 against the spread as a favorite against the Atlanta Falcons if the Falcons are coming off a loss. If the Falcons lost the game they played before the Saints, they're 10-1 against the spread. It's a perfect situation. You got the merry-go-round of up and down in the NFL, of which people like this team, they don't like that team. They're on, they're off, they're on, and now it's like a stock. It's like Bitcoin and shit, the cryptocurrency that's tanking now. Is it time to buy in? Like right now, the Falcons are a stock. It's time to buy in again. The Falcons were bad earlier in the year. They couldn't win. People gave up on them. Then the stock was good. They won 3-4 in a row. The stock went up. Stock has now gone down again. Now it's time to buy in again. Now the Saints are on another level, and they're just smashing teams, right? They're just smashing teams. So it's like betting against Alabama or something like this right now. They're a juggernaut. They're a juggernaut, but the situational spot is good, and even stylistically, like talent-wise, they match up. The Saints will win, but I don't think they're going to win. They're not going to win by 14. The Falcons will trade points with them. The Falcons will be able to move the ball on the Saints. It'll be a shootout track meet game that New Orleans will win maybe by 7, 10, 6, 4. I think it'll be another mini classic. It'll be the game of the day. I mean, so much hype was made about the high total in the Ram game earlier in the week. I mean, this total is right there at 62. I brought this up earlier, though, and it is true. I don't even need to look it up, but it is true that I bet the over of this game a couple of times over the years, and it never got there. It was frustrating. That's the one thing. It's a real big rivalry, this. Like the Chiefs, there's like games are higher scoring when teams play teams that aren't in the same conference. They have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Like the Rams and Chiefs the other day unloaded the playbooks. They're like, whatever. We don't going to do. Next time we'd see this team would only be in the Super Bowl, and you know what I mean? Like it was different when you're in a division. It's like even though the Saints and Falcons are both high-scoring teams, they fucking hate each other, and it's a different element when you're playing a division team. And like you'll look it up, like in the NFL, like higher scoring games when you play out of conference. you also don't know each other, right? So you don't know what the other team's going to do. Like the Falcons and Saints, like if there's one team, and even though the Falcons defense sucks, but if there's one team that like knows the Saints, it's the division rivals. Who's the one team that fucking beat the Saints? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They know them, right? They know. Like, yeah, we know the plays you guys run. Who's the other team? Tampa Bay beat them. Tampa Bay beat New Orleans. Tampa Bay beat New Orleans. The Carolina Panthers fucking hung real tough with them. What did they lose by? Lost by 7 or whatever it was. The Panthers were right there with them. Like it was out in the playoff game. Like, you know, like this division, the division rivals, they play each other very tough. Like there's something to be said for division rivals that they know each other's plays and shit, especially like that division. And it's the same with the Saints, though. I mean, the Saints know what Matt Ryan's going to do, you know? They'll know that, listen, he has a hard time throwing fucking against the grain. Like, he can't – they'll know that, all right, he doesn't like to throw against this cornerback. Like, there's all kinds of little games within the games that they'll know. That's what makes the Patriots pretty good. Bill Belichick's like a master of like Belichick, you could say they cheat, but they also put honest work in. Like Belichick thinks of everything. Like Belichick hired a fucking lip reader to fucking read like people on the sidelines. Like Belichick has a team of people that they just watch the tape like in slow motion of games. And there's all kinds of tells and shit, man. Like people, you know what I mean? Like you'll realize, oh, look, fuck, when Mariota lifts his left foot up, he's really he's signaling the tight end. You know, like that's like they're stealing signs, basically. Like they'll figure out, look, when they fucking, it's very easy too. Like if you're a smart football mind, like if you hear smart football minds, like Romo's pretty good at it. Like he'll say, look, when they have the running back on the right side of him, Jim, it means they're either going to run a bubble screen or they're going to go deep here. Right? Like, so smart coaches know this too. They're like by the formation. And, you know, coaches will try to disguise it, but the really good ones will know that, listen, when you guys run this fucking play, you need him here to block for Brady. So we know you're running this play. That's why it frustrates me sometimes. You guys watch me like during so many football games where I've called the play before it happened. And the other, like the college game the other night, like Memphis did the same 1-2 combo over and over and over. And I'm sitting here yelling at the TV like, guys, I was calling. I remember I was like, guys, they're going to throw fucking on first down. On second down, they're going to run it up the gut on you. And then they're going to rinse and repeat. And they just did it over and over and over. It was like, fuck, man. Memphis just ran the same 2 plays. Like they'd throw it one side, they'd do the other side. And then they'd run up the middle. Then they'd throw it one side, the other side. And I'm sure they were laughing in the Memphis fucking booth up there saying, well, listen, if they're not going to stop it, we'll just keep doing it. All right, we'll take a quick reprieve, and Babano will be with us momentarily. Babano. This is where it gets real in that division too. The Saints, the Saints and the Panthers played twice in the last 3 weeks or something. It's kind of stupid that they did that, but it's kind of stupid that they did that, but they did that. Now you get the Falcon game. Listen, the Saints are the best team in the NFL. They really are, but it doesn't mean they're going to win every week by 14. Also, you have to wonder if the Saints peak a little too early. Like if, you know, I'm curious to see what happens. Most teams that win the Super Bowl, it's either one or two ways. Like they either sort of like last year, Philadelphia, you get home field and you're like, yeah, the team with home field, no one's beating them. Or you get hot in December. Like the New York Giants, every time the Giants won the Super Bowl, they always just sort of got hot around like first week of December, second week of December. Baltimore did that. You get hot, and that's your streak. You know what I mean? Hey, we never had a 5-game win streak until fucking mid-December, man, and here we are in a championship game, you know? All right. But Bano should have got him on earlier. I wanted to get him on earlier. I started rambling on, and an hour passed. That's how entertaining I am. Low scoring, though, 2018. Wow, 2018. I wish I got that under 222 or 223 instead of 212, though. Jazz is a bad bookie, bad numbers. Jazz is dealing bad numbers. 212. What's the in game now? The in game now is 207.5. We'll keep our eye on this. Sacramento Kings, fuck. These guys are balling this year, man. Another thing that I was right about, I told you, fuck, De'Aaron Fox is better than Lonzo Ball. It's not even a debate, fuck. Whatever. The Lakers don't want, like, good young players anyways. It's good that Lonzo's there. He's just sort of the stooge that's there. We're classy of Lonzo to break up with his longtime girlfriend on his reality TV show on Facebook. That's another great deal, I guess, LeVar cut for his kid. Yeah, I got you a show on Facebook. Fuck. Yeah, wow. Like, LeVar Ball is a detriment. Like, he really is a detriment to his kids. He's cost Lonzo so much money. Like, Lonzo could have a shoe deal and shit. Like, he fucked Lonzo up. He sabotaged his fucking young kid's fucking career. He made them NC fucking AA ineligible. The other fucking kid fucking went, fucked the UCLA, stole fucking shit, and fucking quit. You know, couldn't handle being suspended for a fucking couple of months. He's lucky fucking he didn't fucking end up in jail in China. Fucking whatever, man. You were fucking suspended until January 1st. Everyone knew it. The season only starts in November. Well, the little LeVar pulling him from school. Yeah, we're going to play in Lithuania or whatever in some fucking gym in front of 10 people. Fucking Lithuanian fucking D League. Like fucking, you know. It's funny though, like people fall for the hype because he's loud. Oh, he's doing a great job because he's on TV. He must be rich and they're successful. So Michael Avenatti's on TV every day too. Fuck, like so a lot of people are on TV every day. It doesn't mean they're making money. I've been on TV every day for a long time. Trust me. It's like what the coolest thing LeVar Ball ever did is appear on Raw. Fuck, he probably got about $5,000 to do that. Hell, I've even appeared on wrestling before. I've been there. I've done it. I've been to a WWE show before. My role was more like Enzo Amore's role though. The other night, I got taken out. His kid, yeah, exactly. His kid's like trying to play prep ball or something now. It's like, hey, listen, you did a great job with this kid, bro. And you know the sad thing is, the young one is like the best one, supposedly. Like the young one can play, except, you know what I mean? Like you took him out of school when he was 15. You moved him to Lithuania. Like fucking, you brought him back. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, all right, how's LeVar's fucking basketball league doing? Didn't he start some new league or something like that? This guy makes me look like an entrepreneur. Fuck. I don't know. We sent the link to Babano a few minutes ago. He's protesting that I sent it late, I guess. Yeah, he should go in horse racing. That's cold. I don't want to think about the horse racing industry. Like, that's where I'm conflicted when I'm at the Meadowlands. That's when I'm conflicted, fuck. Yeah, it is too soon. I look, I'm in a fucking I'm in a fucking racetrack all the time, man. I sort of block it out. like I look at the track, I don't think about conflict diamond too much. It's like an ex-girlfriend. You got to move on. I did enjoy the horse racing industry. I just didn't enjoy it when the horse got hurt. When the horse was healthy, it was fun. But when the horse was hurt, it was no good. The thing was, our horse got hurt for a long time. Like it was like 6 months, man. Like, and he was never the same after. Our horse, we heard it from 2 to 3 different people. 2 or 3 different jockeys told us after they're basically that he's not into it. He just doesn't. He's not. There's no extra gear anymore. I don't want to get into it. I don't think I think he was upset. I think that I think that the barn that he was at wasn't the best environment for him. But it is what it is. I think he was isolated too much. I think he got depressed. He got hurt. He was a racehorse. He ran like every week of his life, man. And then suddenly, he wasn't running anymore. 6 months. He was alone all the time. I think he got depressed and shit. I think he got depressed. I also, too, I'm not going to get into it too much. It angers me and shit, but I also now suspect that we got played. I think we got played. I think that I'm just saying this, but I think sometimes our jockeys might have held our horse back. And I think they were all laughing about it, and they were all making a shitload of money because our horse was favored. There were times that we had too many bad rides. You know what I mean? Our horse was good. You saw him. We fucking smashed the field. When we had Travis Cullen driving our horse, we were an unstoppable force. Fuck. We were fucking getting checks every fucking race, man. Our jockey got suspended, and we were done. Fuck. Suddenly every other guy fucked with us. There was a few dudes, and everyone was winning big. Other good horses were like 4 and 5 to 1 because we were favored because fucking people were betting on our horse because I own the horse, me and Cam and shit. They said they'd never seen action like that. They had the biggest handle ever, fuck. I'm not saying the biggest handle ever at the track, but like they had the biggest handle ever for a fucking claimant race at that racetrack when we were there one night. They kept the fucking the window open for like 8 minutes. They left our horse out there on the track, fuck. The chick even said, "You guys own that horse?" She's like, "Man, I don't know who you guys are, but I hope you race here every week." Yeah, no shit, fuck. You guys are all fucking betting behind our back, holding our horse back and winning at better odds. Fucking, we were like a little minnows. Like Cam was right. It's like he said, he goes, "Man," he goes, "Gabe, you and I were like fucking two fucking kids that walked into a carnival, fuck, and we got played by a bunch of carnies, fuck. We really did." Like, when I look back on it, like it wasn't our guys. I'm not saying like our trainer was in on it. I think the drivers and the other people, they were laughing at us, fuck. They were laughing at us. All right. Shady delays, man. Fucking one time. Exactly, dude. We got played, man. And everyone else made big money. Like I said, word was out. We heard, man. Everyone was loving it when we raced because their horse was suddenly 8 to 1 and shit. And we got played. But anyways, let's move on. Let's bring in Babano. I apologize for the delay with Babano. What's up, Babano?
Yeah, I remember hearing that PA guy watching that horse run for you on several nights at Flamborough Downs, or not Flamborough Downs, but
yeah, we raced at
Trojan Downs and all these other spots. And I remember here he comes on the outside.
Every Downs, and now I'm down.
Yeah, conflict diamond.
Bringing it up.
Yeah, that's that's unfortunately the horse racing industry as a whole. It's the highest of highs, and then there's some really sad, dreary lows. And
it's all lows.
Yeah, unless you're Bob Baffert, right?
Yeah, and it's not Bob Baffert, dude. Doesn't own horses. That's the misconception. Bob Baffert trains horses. Dude. There's no money in horse. There's no money in owning a horse. Like the money is on the other side where you can play people and shit. But no one makes money in that industry, dude. Like even the people that win a Kentucky Derby, they all lose money. Like. You have the rare instance where there's that, this group of investors bought the horse for $100,000 and they won. For the most part, like, the Kentucky Derby is always like, the fucking Prince of Saudi Arabia or whatever. It's all Middle Eastern, gazillionaires that own the stables. And then they hire Baffert and Lucas and these guys. So they have a shitload of horses and one of them wins, right? It's a tough industry, dude. I've never met one person ever that told me, besides the people that sold us the horse, I haven't met one person ever that told me it's good business. I'm not people, like rich people, like the owner of my network here, my own. He fucking used to own big time horses. He fucking said it was the worst thing he ever got into. I know a bunch of big time people in Toronto that are really rich guys, and Buddy said, he warned me in camp. He said, I lost $100,000 in 4 months at Woodbine, one summer owning a bunch of horses. Like it's a money pit, fuck. You think handicapping is bad, Babano, fuck. Get into the horse racing industry.
Yeah, I'll stick to handicapping. I mean, it's not all every day is not all sunshine and rainbows in the handicapping business either, sports handicapping. But hey, horse racing, it's a
Well,
grind.
no one thinks it is.
Yeah. Horse racing is an even bigger grind than I think I do, to be honest with you. I can believe it. You got to pedal your horse to different tracks. You got to get the right trainer, get the right jockey. You got to treat the horse in such a certain manner that, you keep him well nurtured, make sure he's, taken care of health wise. There's a lot that goes into it, Gabe, a ton of stuff that goes into it, and a ton of stuff that has to go into it in order for you to have success owning a horse and racing a horse. I mean, it just doesn't happen overnight with clicking your fingers and all of a sudden you got a great racehorse. It doesn't work that way.
The biggest thing is you have no control, really. Like, you can do everything and the horse can look great in training and in the week. Once the race starts, dude, it's a 2-minute race. You know what I mean? It's 2 minutes. Like, anything, you get a bad start. Like, it's just it's very like similar to like UFC fighters. They train for like 4 months and then they fight for 15 minutes. It's very strange. Like, they don't have a lot of time. Like, if shit goes bad, you're screwed. That's the frustrating thing. And it's fascinating. I love horses too. Like, I have no regrets. I did it. It is what it is. I don't regret it. I'd do it over again. I wouldn't do it now, but I don't regret doing it. I enjoyed the experience. God bless Conflict Diamond. But the thing is, Babano, that I learned the most is just how I knew horses were smart, but I didn't realize how much of personalities they had. Like, I didn't, I sort of thought, whatever, man. They're a racehorse. He runs and, you know what I mean? He eats hay and whatever. But they're moody motherfuckers, horses, man. Like, their moods change, man. Like, one day they're happy, the next day they're not. And
they're like a chick. They're like a chick. They're like women. You got to just know how to.
Women horses are even worse. But, like, dude horses, too, like, it's hard, man. Like, once the horse gets pissed off, it's hard to make him not pissed off. Or once he gets depressed, it's like hard. Like, they're very moody. And that's the thing. And like, the thing is too, you can have a great training week and then you go to the track and he doesn't like the ride there. Like, horses don't like being stuck in the back of a thing and being put on the highway and shit. Like, it's like, once Conflict Diamond got stuck in traffic for like 6 hours. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then he was all pissed off at the track. There's other times at the track where he was disinterested. Like, he got there. I remember once, man, I knew, I saw him walking the wrong direction. I even fucking called Cody Saftik. I said, are you watching this? And it was like the pre-race and training, like for practice, like walkthrough. I said, why is he on the infield and why is he going the wrong direction? And then Cody tells me, wow, he was a little unsettled this week. It's like, yeah, thanks, buddy. Like, what do you mean he's unsettled? Fuck, he's going the wrong way. Like, Mark Lawrence, dude, had the best story ever. Like, I bring Mark on, man. Me and Mark talked for like an hour 2 weeks ago about horses. And Mark Lawrence is big time, right? So he's at Florida and he has a box at Gulfstream and shit. Great track. And so Mark Lawrence told me the worst thing he ever did is own horses. So Lawrence tells me, he's like, yeah. He goes, I own a bunch of horses at Gulfstream, like big time thoroughbreds and shit. And me and a couple of partners. And he goes, once we were at the track and he goes, our horse was like a long shot, like fucking, 9-1. And our horse won. So he goes, it was the greatest thing ever, man. He goes, it was like the highest of the highs. And he goes, there we were. And he was like, wow, the horse is going to win. You know what the horse did, Babano, when he won? The horse won. He kept running. He fucking jumped the rail.
He didn't know it was the finish line. I'm just going to keep on trotting along here and running along.
He jumped over the fucking rail, the horse. He threw the jockey off. He fucking just took off. He left the track.
Wow.
He ran down the highway.
Holy shit. The highway.
Split.
Woo.
They fucking found the horse in a backyard 3 hours later.
Wow. Thank God the horse was okay. Holy Christ, on the highway? Yeah. Does he think he's going to outrun a car at 100 kilometers an hour?
Dude, they chased it. The Mark said like one of the younger partners took off and fucking started chasing it. It's a horse, Babano. Yeah. Once the horse is gone, bro, if the horse starts running away, you're fucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't anticipate the horse jumping over the rail, running through the parking lot and getting on the street. right? But like, yeah, Lawrence told the story. He goes, yeah, he jumped the rail. He went through like the fucking entrance and fucking took off, man. And like the track, they fucking got in the vehicles. He was fast as fuck, man. He took off and whatever, man. Like, it's amazing he didn't get hit. Yeah. They literally found him because they were looking around and shit, the neighborhoods, and, you know, the cops and the animal people and whatever. And fucking, yes, they found him in a backyard. He was just chilled out too. He was just hanging out in someone's backyard. Fuck.
That's great to see that he's just having a good time there, just chillaxing, relaxing in someone's backyard. But at least, thank God, he didn't get run over by a car or a
like a hostage. He's probably thinking, "Fuck, I got away from those guys." You know, he's just kicking in his backyard.
No, exactly. Yeah, hopefully that horse does not have any connection to a Ralph Cifaretto type. You know, because if he did, that horse would be in some serious trouble.
I don't know if you've ever seen the episode with Bano of The Simpsons, Futurama, Meet the Simpsons. It's fucking classic. It's like, it's so funny, man. I've been watching Futurama a lot recently, actually. It's such a good show. Fucking Bender's the best. So, yeah, so Bender and Fry and everyone fucking they go back in time because it turns out they need to kill Bart Simpson. Like, yeah, so there's like an episode of Futurama and they're in space and they got an issue and they realize, all right, we got to go to this planet and we got to kill this little Bart guy. Fucking, they don't know it's Bart Simpson. So, so they go, but it turns out it's Homer they got to whack. It's not Bart. But Bender and Homer get along. They're drinking beer all the time and shit together. So Bender, it's a stupid episode. Like fucking Bender, like they tell Homer, you got to stay away from Bender. He has to kill you. He's sent here to kill you. So they split. The Simpsons actually go to space and shit. So Bender gets left behind. They're like, Bender's a robot. He'll be fine. So fucking, they leave Bender in Springfield all alone. And it's fucking hilarious, man. So Bender is in Springfield. He's standing there alone and he starts crying kind of. He's like, oh my God, they left me. He goes, I'm all alone in this weird place. And then he goes, with the results, and he goes, I'm all alone in some weird place, stuck back in time. And then he picks up like a newspaper and he goes, with the results of every horse race ever. And, like, he's like, taxi, track, and fuck. So he goes to the track. It's fucking hilarious. He goes to the track and he goes, all right. And like, you know, he's a robot. So he goes, all right, let me look up what happened here. And he goes, hey, look, there's a horse named Bender in this race. And he goes, I guess it says that he died during the race. And it's the best line ever when Bender says, he goes, that can't be true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's the robot. It's him. And he's like, he doesn't believe the trend. He goes, that can't be true. And he bets all of his money on fucking himself. So he bets all the money on the horse called Bender. And then the horse is in last place and the horse dies because Bender killed the horse. So the horse is slow and Bender gets pissed off and fucking laser beams him with his eyes to death. And fucking Wiggum is there with fucking Lou. Lou's like, hey, Chief, there's a robot killing horses over there. Wiggum's like, hey, I'm on my day off here, Lou. It's a fucking great episode, man. It's like a gambler. It's just too funny, man. That he has the results. He's back in time. He time travels. He sees the result. He's like, hey, there's a horse named Bender, but the horse dies during the race. That can't be true. And he bets it. And he loses. It's too good. Like, it's gamblers. Fuck that. You know, that's something I would do. Like, sometimes I swear, Babano, like I have a bad weekend betting or NFL. And I'm thinking, even if you let me redo it right now, I would lose. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes you can give me the USA Today on Monday, and I wouldn't win. I'd fuck it up somehow. I'd be like, nah, this is fake news. I don't think it ends like that. Like, I'd go against it somehow.
Yeah, Bender, the robot horse killer. Bender's like Ralph Cifaretto from The Sopranos, and that horse was his Pyomai. So there you go.
Yeah, even The Sopranos got fleeced in the horse racing industry. Exactly.
They did. Exactly. This happens. Exactly. It shows you Tony Soprano and his cronies couldn't get through in the horse business.
Yeah, I'm not a Soprano.
Look at every scene in that show. Every scene in that show, they're losing almost for them. They won a couple, and then things turned south.
I've seen The Sopranos. I know it's a good show. I'm not anti-Sopranos, but I didn't have time to watch it. But when I was in the horse racing industry, somebody sent me a fucking clip of it. They said, you need to watch this. It was too funny. They're yelling at the horse. What the fuck are we fucking paying you? Fucking like money's fucking. He's like, dude, it was like I've been there. He goes, the trainer goes, we just need more money. He goes, more fucking money. We gave you money 2 weeks ago. He goes, gave me money 2 weeks ago. The horse finished the last fucking place. Fucking like, he's pissed off mobsters. It's like fucking, yeah, no one can win, dude. Like even mobsters get fleeced, and I'm telling you, even mobsters get fleeced in this business.
No, it's true.
So, thanks, Thanksgiving football.
That's right. Thanksgiving football. I love Thanksgiving football. I don't love doing all the work I have to do on the week of Thanksgiving, but I love watching the football on the Thursday.
Yeah, you know what? Exactly. Fuck. I'm beaten down Babano right now. Like,
I zonked out for like 30 minutes earlier tonight, and I didn't plan on sleeping. It's just, I just all of a sudden just fell dead asleep right in the middle of the couch watching sports, and I just fell dead asleep for 30 minutes. That's the time of year we're in right now.
It's like Kramer says, you can't argue with the body, right?
That's right. Yep.
Argue, you won't win, Jerry. Trust me, man. It happens to me. Dude, man, I had like a fucking a serious eyelid problem today in the studio. I was doing FanDuel videos, and suddenly I got blinded by the lights, man. And fucking, and I was like, man, I couldn't. Like my eyes were gonna close. Like I was like, man. And then same shit. I sat down for a minute and I passed out. Like I sat down in a chair. Next thing I know, I'm like, oh fuck. I wake up. I'm like, damn, man, we got the radio show in 8 minutes. Fuck. It's like I'm sleeping in these little 8-minute bits now. And same shit like you guys, like you know, it's a busy time of the year. You do a lot of videos. I know Wednesday you do 1 million hits. And dude, I had to do tape all these things because I'm not on tomorrow and Friday and stuff. So it's been relentless. The last, it's like I'm looking forward to a little reprieve. Tomorrow morning I'm on again at 10 a.m. But it's easy for me. I'm only on 2 hours and whatever. It's just NFL football talk.
So you finally get a break from the 4 o'clock show. It's about damn time. It's Thanksgiving, for crying out loud.
Yeah. So after the morning show, I'm going to go over to the Sportsbook. And I got some tickets to cash, but they closed the Sportsbook at 4:30 tomorrow. Pretty lame. It's not open.
That is. I know it's Thanksgiving. It's a holiday, but there's football. Some people lounge there.
Yeah, I can get it.
NFL games. Yeah,
I can get it if they closed at 11 at night, or they said, all right, listen, no late game, but there's going to be a lot of people. I swear to God, bro, that roll into that parking lot tomorrow and they won't know. Yeah. They're going to be, what do you mean it's closed? Like, how do you close? Like, I still don't get it. Like, hey, it is what it is. So I said earlier, Babano, I want to take all 3 underdogs tomorrow. All 3 underdogs tomorrow in the NFL. I'm sure you're going to be like, oh, I can't do that the way the Saints are playing and blah, blah, but let's
foreshadowing. Good job foreshadowing what I might be saying.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Fuck. I just can't do it. Can't do it. I should do the impression of you. Shocked. I'll be shocked if they win.
That's right. Shocked. And there's no chance. None. Zero. And those are the things I like doing.
2 times in there. Say everything twice. I'm going to go check the papers.
Yeah, exactly. Double that. The other thing I like doing is, Atlanta will have no chance. None. Zero of winning that game.
Yeah, I know. You'll come up with a bunch of words. Nada.
Yeah, exactly. Zilch. Nada. Zilch. Nothing. Zero. Yeah.
So we'll start off with the first game. Listen, I'm going to I got to admit, I've been wrong with the Bears quite a bit. The Bears are good. They sort of remind me of the Eagles last year in a way that their schedule is gratuitous and they're taking advantage of it, but their play calling is so good, the Bears. It reminds me of Reich and Peterson last year, where it's like, yeah, you guys don't really have great players, but it's pretty hard to stop you. You know what I mean? No one really knows what you're gonna do. You got a good quarterback, and Trubisky's not great, but he gets first downs, and the Bears, they have these little wide receivers, but they all make wicked catches. They're a frustrating little team to play against. They got a savage defense, but of course Chase Daniel plays, and I've always thought that Chase Daniel is pretty good. I think he's one of the better backups. At least he was, but he hasn't played in a little while, Babano. And we saw Josh McCown, who was good last year, didn't play all year. And it's difficult just to be thrown on a football field and be good, dude. Like, what's your take on this? Now the number's down at 2.5. The Bears just generally need to win the game.
Yeah, I'm going to bite on Chicago now at 2.5. I was actually going to stay off this game entirely. It wasn't really this. This is probably the game I have the least opinion on of the 3 Thursday games in the NFL. But I'm going to get in on the Bears now at 2.5. I think they're an all-around better football team. Maybe I'm knocking my head against the wall for a second straight week going against Detroit because I did like Carolina last week against them, and they come up short against the Lions.
That's what I hate, and I hate doing that. Yep. Last week, I'm telling everyone how Matt Patricia's a clown. I see we got Big Man in the chat. What's up, Big Man?
He is. Good stuff.
And everyone, I see Matt Patricia's a clown, but and now I can't say, oh yeah, I love the Lions tomorrow. But it's a tough game. I like the Lions on a teaser. I think the Lions at +9.5. I don't think they're going to run out of the building. And
I
honestly,
agree.
Dude, if it was Trubisky, I wasn't going to take the Lions. Like they're good. Like their play calling is good. Their defense is good. I don't know. What about Chase Daniel? That's the thing. There's a mystery to it.
Yeah, I mean, Chase Daniel is a guy that's at least started a handful of games in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be
started a game in years.
Not in years, but he's done it before. He does know this offense.
Like at least
Kansas City and him were together in Kansas City for a few years, so he's got that. He should know the playbook. He should know some plays in it. I think he's going to be okay.
I'm not concerned about that, but it's just you're betting on a guy that hasn't played football in years.
No, you're right. But
he's played in practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's going to be the key here. Is can Chicago keep things simple for him? Chicago's offense did have their way with Detroit a few weeks ago, but again, that was Trubisky. That being said,
that's a good point. I forgot about that. You're right. They just played like 2 weeks ago. You're right.
They just played a couple weeks ago, and Chicago moved the ball up and down the field that entire game, averaged 7.6 yards per play, a complete and utter one-sided affair. Chicago dominated on both sides of the ball.
The Lions did play better in the second half, and they put up 22 points. They made a game of it at least. Yeah. So I think the Lions can take that away from that. Yeah, man, it's hard to say, hey, yeah, I love the Detroit Lions. I don't, because
it's a low-scoring game. I agree that this total's getting played as low as it has. I mean, I thought 46.5 was too high. It's still even at 43.5. I think it's a lower-scoring game. I mean, I do. I mean, I don't think Detroit's moving the ball against Chicago very easily, if at all, in this game. I mean, you look at Stafford, it's a limited offense. Marvin Jones has been banged up. They traded Golden Tate away. It's Kenny Golladay and not much else in this receiving core right now. For the Detroit Lions. And going up against that Chicago pass rush, a bad offensive line for the Lions, that's a matchup edge for Chicago's defense. But I'm not going to trust Chicago's offense to just march up and down against Detroit. Detroit does have Darius Slay back. And Darius Slay is one of the few players on the Lions defense that I will take on my football team. And he's a guy that didn't play in that first meeting against Chicago earlier this season. So for that reason, I think him being on that field is going to do a better allow Detroit to do a better job neutralizing Chicago. And obviously, Chase Daniel's a bit of an enigma, a bit of an unknown for a guy that hasn't started in a couple seasons.
Yeah, but all he needs to do is hand it off. And like Kerryon Johnson's out. I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. And he was actually a bright light. He was, remember,
who's Matt Stafford? Like you said, the Bears, Galladay's good, but the Bears can just load up on Golladay now and say, who's going to beat us? And the Bears sacked him 6 times in that last game. They killed him. They hurt him. Like, they beat him up pretty good. I don't know. Like, you know what? I think a lot of times, Bano, actually, I'm changing my mind on this one. And I was never locked in. I said, I was looking at a teaser here. But I think, you look a lot of times you could argue it's a tough spot for the team. They just played emotional game Sunday night. Was it Sunday Night Football? Yeah, against the Vikings. And, short week, tough. It's a letdown. But, these young upstart teams, they don't really have letdowns. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're excited. Like, there won't be a letdown. If they lose, they lose, but it won't be because it's a letdown. Veteran teams have more letdowns because they're bored and shit. Or, they've been in this situation before. Like, the Bears are just so good. I mean, they're so physical and beating teams. Starting to think, man, with the number down to 2, the Bears just need to win the freaking game, man. They're 7-3 against the spread. Why should we get in front of this?
I like the Bears, but what's keeping me from loving the Bears? Because you're right, I do think they'll find a way to win this game. But this is a borderline disgraceful that this is allowed to happen. That they play the Sunday night game against the Minnesota Vikings, and now they're playing, which was flexed to Sunday night, knowing that this game was already scheduled for Thursday, the very early game, the first game on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. That is a ridiculously short turnaround that the NFL has put the Chicago Bears in this week. Ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. That's my one issue. It's a very, very short week after a physical, intense divisional home game against a team you wanted to prove a point against, beating the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday night. That's my one hang-up. Does Chicago fall flat here a little bit?
My hang-up is the Lions aren't that good.
That's the other. That's why what I keep coming back to, and that's why I'm still taking Chicago.
This is the one that I actually don't like the games tomorrow that much. I like the late game. That's the one I like. Like, I was looking at teasers for these early games because I don't trust these teams. Like, I wouldn't take the Lions to win the game outright. Like, that 2.5 is not enough fucking points to do it. It's like, yeah, the Lions plus 9.5 is attractive. I don't think the Bears blow them out. But, the Bears are such a physical team. And, Chase Daniel really just doesn't have to do much. Like, that's another thing. Trubisky's pretty good, but he doesn't really have to do much either. Right? Like, it's the play calling, the system, the defense. And the Lions are a very beat-up team. They won that football game against the Panthers only because Cam Newton fucking had a Cam Newton moment and didn't run the ball in the end zone for one reason or another. So, they're a pretty beat-up team right now. Let me get an updated number on this.
Yeah, 3.5, or not 3, I might still be interested, but 3.5, 4, there's not really much love I had to take Chicago in this game. Now at 2.5, as low as 2.5, Pinnacle, 5 dimes.
Threes now. It's pretty much even threes now, field goal.
Yeah, if you even could get -3 at even money, I'd agree to that, and I would say.
So now, it's funny how these numbers are so critical. Now that it's up to 3, but man, suddenly the 7-point teaser is now really in play with the Lions to plus 10.
That's not a bad teaser. Again, I think if you take Detroit in a teaser, that's not terrible. Yeah. And they rarely get blown out at home. It is Thanksgiving. They're used to these games, everybody. Like I say, I think either if you like Detroit, take them in a teaser. If you like Chicago, take a shot with them 2.5, 3.
One thing is, too, they're 0-5. They're 0-4 straight up and against the spread the last 4 games on Thanksgiving when facing a team with a better record than they are. That's not good. I mean, the Lions usually lose this game on Thanksgiving. Like they haven't won a lot of Thanksgiving games over the years. It's a tough game. It's a fun game. It's a good game. I think the league's a better league. I think it's good. Like, to me, the Bears are almost like the Knicks, where it's better when they're good. I like it when the Bears are good. It's a good football city. The Bears are an iconic franchise. It's good to have the Bears back in business. It's a tough game. All right. And similar, this next one's really tough as well, Babano, where I flip-flop on this one as well throughout the week, where Dallas, I preach this all the time to people. Dallas are bad home favorites. They're a bad home team. They're 27-31 in their home stadium here since it's opened. So imagine what they are against the spread if they've only won 27 times outright. They've lost 31 times outright at home. The Cowboys are brutal home favorites, man. Like Jason Garrett, 8-28 against the spread as a home favorite. 1-8 is a home favorite, with favored by more than 7 points. Like, people, if you're not into trends, I get it, and but it ain't a trend. It's just a fact. The Cowboys suck as home favorites, and they always do this. They always look really good on the road. And everyone buys into the hype and goes, wow, they're really good. And they go back home, they lay too many points, they fucking underachieve, and people rip them again after. And it's like the cycle continues. So this is a tough game. Now you got Colt McCoy in here for an already banged up team. And I know you didn't want to take the Redskins and all against the Bucs. They're too beat up. And I took the Redskins. We won. Last week, I said, this is where it catches up to the Redskins. You got to deal with a fierce pass rush in Houston and a very good defense, and you're beat up, and, you beat Tampa, but you ain't beating Houston. And they didn't, but they did cover and screwed me. And I, though, kind of think like it catches up to them this week. that they got to be running out of gas, and they're beat up. Now you got Colt McCoy in here. I don't think there's a big drop off from Colt to Alex Smith, and Colt looked good when he came in last week, so he'll be ready to go. So I'm kind of torn here between liking the Cowboys seem to be peaking and playing great ball right now. They have a great young, active defensive line that's going to cause problems, I think, for Washington. But the Dallas Cowboys are brutal brutal home favorites. And the Redskins, even though they're banged up, they battle with people to battle. Like, this game, I feel like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. You know what I mean? Like, if I take Dallas or I put Dallas in a teaser or something, and Washington will win or the Washington will cover, and I'll be like, man, I fucking know Dallas are a shit home favorite. But part of me can see Zeke Elliott fucking doing that stupid feed me shit all day long and then kicking the shit out of them. What do you think of this one?
It's a great game to watch. I can't wait to see this one because there's so many moving parts to this game. I took Washington actually in this game early in the week at 8.5. Is what I got. I got a really good number with it, and I'm happy with it, especially with the Washington money coming in now at 7 now. I like that.
The best number since Cohen. But I did see it at 8.5 earlier in the week. You are correct.
Yes, it was. And I thought it was an astronomical number for Dallas because this, to me, is that prototypical Dallas spot where everybody's back on the bandwagon. 2 great wins against Philadelphia and Atlanta on the road. You come back home now against Washington and watch them struggle to win this game at all, let alone win by margin. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen here for the Dallas Cowboys. Is there concerns with Washington? Hell yes. This offensive line could be down 3 starting O-linemen again this week. That's an issue with DeMarcus Lawrence and Gregory and a very, very good up front. That Dallas team is. They can get after the quarterback here, Colt McCoy, because of those O-line issues. But, I thought Houston would have those edges, and they did, and yet Washington's still hanging around with a chance to win that game late and didn't get blown out and were right in it from start to finish. And people making a big deal, Alex Smith, leg injury, out for the season. There's no downfield passing game for Washington the last several weeks. Have you watched this offense? It's not like it's been great. It hasn't been great. Alex Smith struggled. There's been no downfield threat throwing the football. I'm not going to say all of a sudden there is with Colt McCoy, but to me, this is one of the least downgrades I make going from Alex Smith to Colt McCoy at the quarterback position with this team. I don't make a big downgrade in this spot. I really don't, because I think
Alex Smith is better than Colt McCoy, obviously, but you're right. It's about the situation and the offense that they run.
No, listen, Gabe, just one second. Alex Smith's performance last year, 2 years ago with Kansas City, that is a big upgrade from Colt McCoy. His performance this year with Washington,
he's been good this year, Babano. It's just the last couple of weeks. I mean, he had no offensive line, Babano. I mean, the Redskins players.
The downfield game wasn't working.
Smith is just a winner. He's not about stats and shit. The Redskins players were loving Alex Smith. The organization loved him. He had struggled the last couple of weeks, but they don't have anyone to throw the ball to. Everyone's hurt all the time. And he's got a shitty offensive line and banged up, and he ends up getting killed last week behind it. But with Colt McCoy, McCoy's been in this offense forever. He's been there. You know what I mean? Like when Kirk Cousins was there were times when Kirk sucked and they wanted to get McCoy in there. And, McCoy's one of these guys that if they leave him alone, he would have been a decent quarterback. But they always got fucked with. He's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. But the team's confident in McCoy. McCoy knows the offense better than Alex Smith knows the offense. And, you're right. And the thing with Alex Smith is he was getting beat up a little bit. He wasn't quite as mobile and as athletic. You're right. Alex Smith was aging. He looked a little older. And Colt McCoy had some energy last week running around still. So I agree with you. I don't think there's a downgrade from a point spread perspective. I really don't. If Alex Smith or Colt McCoy here. Colt McCoy will be able to move the sticks. And one thing about the Redskins no one talks about is their defense is good. They have a good young defensive line, and they have a bunch of badasses in the secondary. So I don't really think Dallas's passing attack is going to intimidate fucking Josh Norman and Dunbar and all these guys. They'll be fine back there. Clinton Dix. Yeah, the Skins will be fine. I've been leaning with the Skins. I have been, but I'm aware that it could get out of it. That's the only thing.
Well, if it's sack, fumble, sack, fumble, sack, fumble, And we know there's a scenario where that can happen. And I'm firmly aware of that taking Washington in this game. There's a scenario where that can happen, where there's just the offensive line's just completely overwhelmed by DeMarcus Lawrence and the front seven for the Dallas Cowboys. And if that happens, we're in some big, big trouble because you can't give Dallas short fields. That is the big concern here. But what I really did when looking at this game was I really tried to scour for quotes from players, from Gruden, but specifically from players. You want to get a sense of where the team is mentally after seeing their starting quarterback, their number one quarterback, go down. I didn't see any moping. I didn't see any panic. I didn't see any read any woe is me attitude from anybody. And from what I've read, it's next man up. We're still in great shape to win this division. We're ready to go. We want to play Thursday. Bring it on, they said. That was the collective. There were multiple people that said, bring it on. Let's go. We're ready to keep going without Alex Smith. And from what I've read, they like Colt McCoy as a teammate. He's gritty. He's tough. He'll take a pounding and get back up and keep playing. He doesn't have a great downfield, long, vertical passing game type of arm, but he's smart. He's got,
but like you said, they don't throw the ball down the field anyways. They're more of a slant type throwing team anyways.
Exactly. Short to intermediate routes. You hope Peterson and Bibbs, who are basically now your two running backs with Thompson still out, you're hoping they can produce a decent ground attack.
That's one concern. Dallas. That's one concern for me with Washington as well, though, with the schedule. That Adrian Peterson's been very good. It's amazing what he's been doing actually this year for a 33-year-old. He's actually breaking records and shit. He's having the best, he's the best running back for there's the best running back season for his age ever type thing. Right. So he's really putting up numbers and stuff. But last year, and you just noticed the trend this year too, when he gets a lot of carries and shit. One of our fantasy studs pointed this out to us last year. They said when Adrian Peterson has a big game or gets a lot of carries, there's a drop off the next week, and then there's a bounce back the following week, and it sort of goes back and forth because he's older, so he gets beat up, and there's a slower recovery time, so he's not quite as on his game the next week. And he's been really good though; he's been pretty consistent this year, and it's just short turnaround for these guys playing on Sunday and then rolling around a 33-year-old running back on Thursday again with Bano, but he is in great shape, that guy.
I think to me, definitely. I think, I'm not panicking about Washington with Colt McCoy at quarterback. To me, he's going to be, as long as he protects the football and hopefully the offensive line's a question, but protect the football. If you take a sack, keep the football tight to your chest. Don't leave it hanging out there like a loaf of bread. Protect the football. That's going to be key. And at least if you allow your defense to get stops on Prescott and Elliott and the Dallas offense here in this game. And I'll keep going back to this one thing. How many wins have Dallas gotten this season by more than a touchdown? One. That's it. One win by more than a touchdown. It was against Jacksonville when Jacksonville started to fall apart. When everything just totally went wrong for Jacksonville.
All over the Jacksonville
football game. That's it. Look at the other games for Dallas that they've won. By 3 against Atlanta, by 7 against Philly, by 2 against Detroit, by 7 against the New York Giants. This is not a win by margin. This is not a blowout type of team most weeks. And Washington's gritty. I think we found out Washington's got some grit to them. I mean, they hung tough against Tampa. They got some luck. They got some good fortune in that game, but they still won. They hung tough against Houston, continuing to lose bodies, continuing to get cluster injuries on the offensive line, hang tough with Houston, and everybody's positive. The injuries are mounting. O-line, Alex Smith gone. The quotes are all positive from what I've read. They're rowing the boat in the same direction. They're confident still. The division is in our hands. We can still control our own destiny here. We want to play the next game with Colt McCoy, and they really like Colt McCoy. Everybody said Colt McCoy's a great guy, great teammate. He's really tough. We want to play hard for the guy. So I expect to see a good effort from Washington. A good effort might be all they need to stay within a touchdown here.
All right, leads us into the nightcap, the real entertaining one. I got that Auburn-Arizona game going on, actually. It's on TV, too. See, I'm on Arizona +9, and I'm on the over. It's a low-scoring game so far, 7-5, 5 minutes in. Then we get the nightcap tomorrow night. This is the one I personally kind of like the best because I don't like these earlier 2 games all that much. I'm going to be attacking the props tomorrow more than anything. So you got the Atlanta Falcons getting the points. How many points are they getting now? Back up to 13. Total is 60 in this game. They already played too, didn't they? Play a couple of weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago or a month. What was it? So,
Atlanta, New Orleans was a month. No, it was September. I think it was late September. It was not a month. It was 43-37 in overtime. It was an epic shootout, back and forth, pinball style kind of game. 80 points. 80 points, over 900 total yards of offense in that game. And would it shock you to see anything different this time around? Not me.
No, this game, dude, every time these teams play, it's whoever has the ball last, and you're getting 13 fucking points. You know, like I said,
this is the one week where I'd be very, very scared to take New Orleans, because Atlanta still has a very vaunted passing. They don't run the football anymore. I mean, we've totally forgotten Tevin Coleman and Freeman are on this football team. They're almost exclusively a pass offense now. But the Saints are a weak pass defense, or at least they're a weaker pass defense than they are a run defense. So matchup-wise, it's okay for Atlanta. Matchup-wise, they should be able to do some things offensively in this game. With Ryan and Sanu and Jones and Ridley, there should be some plays to be made through the air. I mean, the Saints are not just a little, they're a lot weaker defensively against the pass than they are against the run. So the Falcons should be able to do some things, and the back door is always open, even if New Orleans is up 14-17. I'd be worried laying this many points with New Orleans, but I'm still also scared to death to bet against them right now. I mean, we see what they do week in and week out. They're scoring points in bunches. Atlanta's not going to stop them. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit that Deion Jones is coming back. It's going to help a little bit.
Stop them,
but they're not stopping. And he's not played in 2 months. He's coming off a big serious injury too. Yeah, and he's coming off a big serious injury too. That he's been out for 2 months. You think he's ready to be up to game speed to slow down this prolific offense? I don't think so. On the road, no, I don't think so. They're going to score at will. But Atlanta can score too. You know where I'm going. I'm going over the total. I don't give two shits that it's 59.5 or 60. It's going over the total. Here's a great stat with this total here. And it's something that I read last week going into the Rams game with the Chiefs. And it's a good one. There have been, since 2000, 14 games in the NFL. 14 with a total of 57 or higher. 14 games. The over in those games.
12-2 now to the over?
12-1-1. One push.
Because last week everyone was dropping it. It was 11-0 and over 57, and I didn't believe it. I know, because I bet, I always bet overs. I was like, nah, there's been a few unders. And I said 11-2. I said the last 13. Maybe it was 11 in a row, but so you're telling me 14 games over 57, it's 12-1-1.
12-1-1 to the over in 14 games with a total of 57 or more in the NFL since 2000. That's like 18-year sample size. Yeah.
What these stats are too, man, where it's a little subjective is because it's the numbers, right?
Yep.
Maybe a covers.com grades it at 59.5 and Don Best had it at 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll notice little discrepancies in the gaming world with different sort of stats and stuff like that. But I get where you're going with that. Point is, it's high for a reason.
Yeah, Bruce Shad, you say I'm like a radio. At least people can hear my voice. We'll never hear your voice. We'll never see your face. You don't go anywhere. You don't do anything. You sit there in your home. You put that pizza down your throat and smoke out, pass out in the middle of the night there. Just getting high and stoned and whatever the fuck else you do. So you don't like it. Tough shit.
But Ben, I don't know, man. I think he might have been too hard. I'm not even sure he was coming at you there.
No.
But, I think there's heat between the two of you. Nothing wrong with being a radio. I thought radio is a compliment.
Well, let's hear Bruce Shad's voice. Let's hear it. Let me hear it. Well, come on one of these shows on the Google Hangouts. Gabe will send you a link. Let's hear that Bruce Shad voice. Let me hear it. Hello. 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 Is anybody No, nobody home.
I still laugh every time. I think of that time in the hockey playoffs when you said you guys are supposed to meet up and go to a game. But you're like, but I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, wasn't happening. Yep.
Man, what's funny too? I just said hi to Bruce Chad for it. Bruce Chad's been minding his own business for the most part tonight. Like, I thought it was very funny when I saw Kyle Hammer just state that Bruce Chad has a Domino's Pizza nightlight in his hallway.
That is, I can totally see that too.
I actually just pictured, we're taking calls, Mo. I actually just pictured Bruce Chad like going to bed in like Domino's pajamas. Like,
Yeah.
we should all pool in money and get Bruce China a Christmas present. Get him like a nice Domino's, like nightgown, like bathrobe or like pajamas. You could. No, there's no number to call, Mo. We're not taking calls.
Yeah.
We're not taking calls. But I could just picture sort of like Domino's pizza sheets, or like pizza slices on his pillowcase. Like I can just picture
See that, yeah.
going to bed, like all tucked in, puts his head down on his pillow, and it's like fucking Domino's pizza box, the pillow. Or like his bed should be a
it's got little slices of pizza, all across the bed sheets. Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, it was cool. Everyone had like the cool kids had the racing car bed. You know what I mean? Like Babano should be like a pizza box bed.
Yeah.
Like it's like a Domino's pizza box, the bed. You know what I mean? But nice, like a nice expensive pizza box bed. Yeah, and like the comforter.
Yep.
Yeah, like the comforter is like the toppings of the pizza. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny picturing that, actually, but I could totally see that happening in a reality of some kind. Especially with Bruce, yeah.
Yeah, pizza it's a good call, Kyle Johnson. But the pizza breads, the pillows are edible. Exactly, there's crust, a cheese filled crust, edible. All right, Jason, you seem to be confused here. That you must confuse this crowd with somebody that gives a fuck about what you're typing.
Lipton bathrobe, wow.
Soup, yeah.
I know what that is, Grinch. That's pretty funny, though.
Let's be. I'm going to ask you a question right now, Babano. Do you have any soup in the cupboard right now? Do you have like Lipton cup of soup? When I always sort of had those cheap Lipton sort of. You know what I mean?
I have Campbell's tomato soup. I have minestrone habitat.
So I'm asking if you have soup in your kitchen in your house right now, and you do.
I do. I have habitat, minestrone, Campbell's tomato soup, and I've got those little Mr. Noodles packets. You know those Mr. Noodles? Yeah.
Well, so you really are a soup fucking guy, because I had like one type of soup. You just said you have different brands and types. So habitat, well, you got habitat veggie soup. You got
not so much in the summer, but this time of year, absolutely. I'll
got your traditional Campbell's tomato soup.
Weather. Yeah, Campbell's tomato soup, minestrone, habitant
cheese sandwich.
Habitant, yeah, soup and grilled cheese is a good combo. And sometimes, and if I don't have soup in the house, you can always go to Burnt Tongue, downtown Hamilton, one of the best soup places in the area. It's really good. A little pricey, but good.
I thought you were going to say, maybe at a can or no, not now, but sometimes you do. Like, man, you just proven like the fact that you've lived up to the hype. You really are a soup guy.
Soup guy. I'm not a soup fiend or a soup obsessed guy.
You have more soup than fucking Tim Hortons does. You go to
Tim Hortons,
what kind of soup you have? She'll go none. Or she'll go, I have fucking tomato, fucking vegetable from an hour to from 11 hours ago. You go to your place right now, you're offering fucking people like 4 or 5 different types of soups.
That's right. We got some soup. Well, we don't have everything. We don't like a lot of the different soups that you can get. The unique brands, you can't get them here. This is the straight,
What about the
cookie cutter soups?
Tomato soup,
standard soups.
When you make your tomato soup there with the Campbell's, you put water or milk. You got to use milk or water.
I actually put milk in it, like a little cream in it, creamy taste to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it watery down. It's just a little too pasty. It's like tomato paste when you put water in it. Yeah.
I've done it. Like I've done it with water when I have no money, or no milk. It's like, well, yeah, I guess we're going to suck this up right now. But you got to like it. The banner likes this. So you know what? You really have lived up to the hype. So
Jason's freaking out here. Jason's freaking.
You're taking shots at Bruce for pizza loving so much. I mean, I think maybe we got to get you like some like Campbell soup art, like Andy Warhol and shit.
Actually, I don't like pea soup, Ken, believe it or not. That's one of the soups I don't like. But yeah, Jason's freaking out here. He says, get back to sport. Jason, what the hell? This is a show that just flows. We let the show breathe. The show goes into topics and discussion points that it just goes there. If it goes to talking about soup, it goes there. It's the kind of show it is. It's a late night, relaxed type of environment.
Man, do I look like somebody who really gives a fuck about what someone on fucking YouTube is saying to me? No.
We're just trying to explain what the hell's going on here. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're gonna have some nice. They got the real soup down there in the bayou tomorrow night, throwing it down. So you're going with the over in the football game.
Going with the over, nothing on the side. But I can understand the sentiment that Atlanta offers some value because there's very little value to be had with New Orleans.
Be a public not a public mark because I don't think people will do this, but I'm going to be the teaser mark here tomorrow where I'm going to fucking tease the Atlanta Falcons to plus 20, Babano. Plus 20. And I'm going to go over 53. That's my teaser. Falcons plus 20 over 53. Which might be a stupid play because, you know what I mean? Like you're getting 13 already anyways. Like basically I'm saying if they don't cover the 13, maybe they're not covering at 20 either. Like maybe it's one of those fucking beatdowns we're talking about. But I don't think it is. I really don't. Like you said earlier, 43-37 overtime. I see a similar thing. You know, maybe a 10-point game, 7-point game. And I swear, dude, I brought it up actually. I think a plus 500 money line sprinkles in order here too. Don't be shocked if there's an upset in this game.
Atlanta, they're dangerous with their passing game, and again, the Saints' weakness on defense, if there is one. And let's be honest. Let me say it right now. New Orleans defense has played a lot better as the season's gone on. They've gotten better and better and better each week, but they are still more vulnerable to the pass than they are to the run. And Atlanta still, I think, for my dollars, they're the best one, still one of the best passing attacks in the NFL. They can be if they're on their game, and that's a matchup concern for the Saints and for Sean Payton and for Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator in this game. And for that reason, they can hang within this number. They can always punch in a late score if they're down by 2 touchdowns. I think they will move the ball through the air against the Saints, at least to a certain degree.
Bano. All right, Babanos, it's getting late. I can't be on all night here. So
I'll give you one for Sunday, of course.
Give you one for Sunday, and then just quickly, because we're not on the radio Friday, and then quickly I'll give you a crack at the college games, the big-time college games. What's your one for Sunday?
Yeah, we'll give you one college, one NFL. We'll do quick Grey Cup.
Of course, Grey Cup.
Talk Grey Cup Sunday, Ottawa, Calgary. But guess what? I'm going to appease Gabe because I know he's loved this team for a very, very long time. I absolutely love the Buffalo Bills on Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I am convinced, especially as I read throughout the course of the week and after hearing what the Jaguars players said after that, just that season ending put a knife through the heart of the Jacksonville Jaguars season with that loss to Pittsburgh. I think there's a no-show. I think there's a flat-out no-show for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They don't show up to play football in this game. They're going up north, frozen, cold weather. In Buffalo.
They have the same record. They're 3-7.
They are. They are. And for the Bills, they're off a bye. And you know what I say about late season bye weeks in NFL and college, Gabe? They're worth their weight in gold. People are banged up. You're battling injuries at this time of year. You get a chance to rest some of those broken, bruised bones. You get Josh Allen back at the quarterback spot.
Like, I got to be honest with Bano. And I was thinking, man, I'm kind of intrigued with Matt Barkley a little bit here. You know what I mean? Like, quarterback here against Jacksonville, but Josh Allen coming back, like I don't know if he should be back. If he's healthy, I guess we put him out here. But I don't know. See, I would have saved him until next week in Miami. Personally, you get this Jag team and throw him out there. What are we going to get from Josh Allen? That's my concern about betting on the Buffalo Bills. Never mind, the concern is the Bills are a terrible team. But that's my concern. So you trust Josh Allen here, huh?
Well, it's because he's got that mobile ability. He's got that dual threat capability in him. Jacksonville's defensive front could overwhelm Buffalo. I mean, and then they're suspect to say the least offensive line. That's definitely an issue here. But his mobility, I think, can keep Jacksonville a little bit off track. Jacksonville, to me, they put everything they could in last week's game. They knew that they had to win that game against Pittsburgh to save their season, to see them just fritter it away. Blake Bortles didn't play well with the game on the line in the fourth quarter. Again, what else is new there? And hey, Buffalo will play defense a little bit this season. I think their defense has been okay. I mean, they've had some bad games, but off a bye week, you give McDermott, defensive guy, time to prepare to shut down a mistake-prone quarterback on the road in cold weather, something I don't think he's very comfortable doing. Blake Bortles. This could be a we don't get off the bus game for Jacksonville. I don't see the incentive going out here and playing a great football game. Your season ended last week. You're still pointing fingers at one another. Doug Marrone still got question marks about whether he's going to be brought back next season with this football team. Jacksonville, to me, I don't know. I could see them just totally.
I think Marrone comes back, but I think has Marrone ever been back to Buffalo? Actually, I don't think so. Huh?
I don't believe so. Yeah.
No, like I know that they played obviously in the playoffs, but so
playoff revenge, not the playoff revenge should be a key handicapping factor, but there's another thing.
It is don't think, yeah, no, it is like for sure. You know, it's like Michigan Villanova earlier in the year, right?
Yep.
Not the championship game, but you know, the team that loses, it's always more important. But like, it's funny. I remember like the Michigan game against Villanova last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, and. They asked the kids on Villanova, hey, that's a national championship rematch. And the kids on Villanova were like, it's a new year and it's just another game. It's not a national championship rematch. And they asked the kids on Michigan, they didn't even hide it. They're like, yeah, we're very happy that we're playing this team again. like they wanted it, you know what I mean? But man, there's no consolation. I remember my Buffalo Bills got killed by the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And the following year, we opened up the year with the fucking Cowboys. Man, the year Jim Kelly retired, okay? It was Todd Collins. Remember, I don't know if you remember Todd Collins. Todd Collins started for the Buffalo Bills. His first ever start was against the defending Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys in Buffalo, and the Bills beat them.
I remember that, yep.
Yeah, the Bills won the game.
That was in the 90s after Dallas won that Super Bowl with Troy and Jimmy Johnson and company. Yep.
And I remember like everyone was all happy. And but at the time, like I remember thinking, big deal. We lost the Super Bowl fuck to them. Like this winning this game doesn't erase us losing the Super Bowl, right? Like I remember being frustrated at the time, but I'll never forget. Like, look, Todd Collins was a Michigan quarterback. So Todd Collins, a Michigan quarterback, and so I knew him well coming into Buffalo, and I had confidence in him. Actually, I thought he would do well, and he did. And it's funny, he won that game, and people thought, "Hey, fuck, maybe life's not so bad after Jim Kelly." And as we found out, no, it was. And Todd Collins was a backup in the NFL for a long time, but he was never a great starter.
No, and then of course it turned into the Flutie Johnson controversy for a few years there in Buffalo toward the late '90s and into the 2000s, which drove me nuts for years there. But and then we rolled that into just another devastating time of quarterback play. J.P. Lostman, as I like to say, and you go on down the list, and Trent Edwards, who had a nice little hot start one season, then totally flamed out after that. It's just one bad quarterback story after another post Jim Kelly era.
Yeah, they never should have fucked. They never should have fucked with Doug Flutie that time. They had a good thing going, even though it wasn't Rob Johnson's fault. They lost that game, right? The Music City Miracle. Rob Johnson actually played pretty well in the game, but they would have won if it was Flutie. They messed with their karma, their voodoo. Shit, but all right. So, what's your the Sunday game? Is the Buffalo Bills? Says
yes.
All right. So before we get to college quickly, the Bills kind of a shitty Sunday card, really. The only other games of interest, really, the Giants Eagles is intriguing a bit here, and very tough. Where it reminds me of the Skins Cowboys game, where it's hard to trust either team. Everyone keeps waiting. Oh, this is the week the Eagles show up, but I don't know. Like I don't think they can. And then you got the Giants. Just because the Giants beat two bad teams doesn't mean that they're any good, really. The Panthers I see are down to 3 right now against the Seahawks. That has me sort of somewhat intrigued, but that's a tough game. And they got the Packers and the Vikings. But that Packer-Viking game is a pretty cool game.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief what I'm looking at in NFL. I'm looking at Baltimore minus 10.5 against Oakland. Oakland backpedaled and fell ass backwards into their first win last week only because Arizona screwed up more than anything. Oakland did well. Oakland going on the road for an early start. Baltimore's got a lot to play for. I think Baltimore lays this. I don't care if it's Flacco or Jackson and quarterback. Baltimore, I think, lays the smackdown there. I see points in the Giant-Eagle game. Giants are getting their offense going a little bit the last couple weeks, blocking a little bit better. Eli Manning and these downfield weapons, and we know he's got them on this team. They're finally starting to make some plays for this New York Giants team, albeit last couple weeks, some suspect defenses, San Fran and Tampa. But still, I mean, the offense is turning a corner. Philly's ravaged with injuries defensively, not playing well defensively. Giants can move the ball here. Philly can move the ball too. Philly hung a big number against Giants earlier this season. I still don't love the Giant defense by any stretch. 46.5 the total. I think you get points in that game. Let's see what else here. Next up, let me see. I've lost my spot here. Seattle, Carolina. I kind of like Carolina there at home. Hey, they're much better at home. I mean, they're off 2 straight road losses against Pittsburgh and Detroit. Seattle's got to travel for this game, early start. Carolina's just been way too good at home, and they're laying only 3 with juice, but you can still get 3s out there. I like Carolina there. I think another over that I like Sunday is Miami-Indy. Miami's getting Ryan Tannehill back at quarterback. We know how much better their offense should be with him as opposed to Brock Osweiler. Miami defense has been awful of late. I don't think it's going to get much better for their defense here, taking on this Indianapolis offense, which has been tremendous. They've been absolutely phenomenal, outstanding, the Indianapolis Colts on the offensive side. Andrew Luck's been excellent for the last several weeks. Miami's probably not stopping them. Weather won't be an issue with the game being played in Indy, indoor conditions. I think that game can get over 51. And I think that's about it. Arizona Chargers, not much there. Pittsburgh, Denver seems cheap on Pittsburgh, but it's a really tough Pittsburgh spot. Back-to-back road games. You go from the warm air of Jacksonville now to the cold, thin air, high altitude of Denver. Broncos actually did show some life after their bye week. I thought they were a dead team, but sure enough, what did they do? They beat the Chargers outright last week. So maybe Denver does have some life left in them. But I lean Pittsburgh there, but not going to get involved. So that's about it for me with the NFL. College football, there's a few this week. This is a little trickier weekend. These rivalry games, the teams that are better on paper than their rival, they're priced that way at this stage of the season. The teams that, look at Kentucky, Louisville. Kentucky laying 17 on the road at Louisville in a rivalry game. I mean, that shows you that Kentucky's had a much better season than people thought, and Louisville's just been awful. Yet I would still probably, and I actually have laid 17 with Kentucky in that game because I do think Louisville's quit. They are that bad. There was no uptick in performance, none, 0 whatsoever last week for Louisville, even with the first game with the new interim coach. Against NC State, or the first 2 games for the interim coach. They've still been the same bad team, no effort, not much offense, just an absolutely terrible defense that pretty much gives up points on every drive. So I didn't mind laying 17 there. I like the same with Virginia Tech. I mean, this number looks dirt cheap to me. 4.5 with Virginia. Virginia Tech's done. I mean, it's not a good football team, and I'm sick and tired of hearing how good the team is, what a great tradition they've had. Justin Fuente, it's been a little disappointing now with him. Bud Fox, hearing about his defense.
I used to hype this guy up as a covering machine. They're bad. They're a bad football team this year. So I just heard you say you like Kentucky to lay the wood to the Ville, and you mentioned this. You're talking about this Virginia game. I don't think Mabano was just rambling. I stepped out. I was fucking drinking too much water. I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, that's right. To keep the show rolling. I can't have dead air. That's no good.
Exactly. I appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm just going to say about the Virginia game. I hear what you're saying. Virginia's a much better team. Though, Mabano, you know this shit. How many games in a row it's been? I don't know. What is it? 13, 14 or something? Yeah, 13 times, 14. Yep. They haven't beaten them in forever. That's the key, right? Can they beat them, right? Can they fucking beat them?
If they don't beat Virginia Tech now, then never. I don't know when it's going to happen because this is as vulnerable as Virginia Tech's ever been for this game against Virginia. This is a horrible defense. They've been riddled with injuries in the secondary all year, and they haven't been able to stop the run in weeks. Everybody's run the football right down their throat. Virginia can run it. They can throw it. They're a very balanced offense between the run and the pass under Bronco Mendenhall. Bryce Perkins has had a solid season as the dual threat quarterback. Ryan Willis has sort of tailed off for Virginia Tech after a good first couple games with him as the starter. And look at Virginia Tech last 4 games. 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread. Last 4 games, they lost all 4 games by double digits. It's a bad football team right now, and I think Virginia can get it done. And you know Virginia's going to be motivated to get it done. They know we got a chance to finally beat this team. Let's do it.
Right. Lord, go get filibuster. No, I'm actually defending you here, Babano. Like, people think like you were just talking and I couldn't say anything that whole time. No, Babano was carrying the show. I stepped out of the room for a second, and Babano, like a pro, he kept going. So yeah, I'm clearing your name, Babano. There, like, people are like, "Oh,
no, it's all right. It's all jokes in the chat. It's all good. Smiles and chuckles. Nothing personal. Nothing malicious. It's all good."
I was just defending. All right, so we can't go through every game here, but what's the game tomorrow night? And what's going on in this Auburn game? Oh, 24-22. We're hanging around. We're not going to hit the over, so we're playing for a split here. I've got Arizona plus the 9. The over ain't going to hit. It's 24-22 with 3 minutes left in the first half of play. So the Egg Bowl's tomorrow night, isn't it?
It is, and I don't want the underdog. They are beyond battling injuries, Ole Miss. They are just a complete utter mash unit.
I did a video for this game earlier in the week, and I don't like laying points, but it's a revenge spot. I think Mississippi are kind of out of gas now, and Mississippi State are starting to get hot now, man. Like, I was a little down on MSU this year, but if you look at them, they pretty much beat the shit out of everybody besides LSU and Alabama, really. Like, they've been, when they win, they win. Like, they're beating you up when they win. It's one of those rivalry games, though, Babano, but I'm leaning with the favorite here, too.
Yeah, the thing is, all Ole Miss can do is
the over gets there. There's going to be points.
It's going to have to be a lot of Mississippi State points, because I don't know if Ole Miss is moving it in bunches against this.
I know the Bulldogs. I know their defense is awesome. I know it's really, really good, but Mississippi State's offense is good, Babano. And the thing is, Mississippi State's defense is fucking brutal.
They're brutal. They're brutal, and it's
two. So Mississippi State's going to get 35-40 here, dude. Like, Mississippi, I really like the over here. I know what you're saying. Mississippi State's defense is elite and stuff, but it's too low, the total, with a defense as bad as Mississippi.
They are horrible. I mean, Mississippi State can hit 45 here in this game, because I remember they put 45 up on Louisiana Tech in a game recently, and that's a better Louisiana Tech defense than even Ole Miss has. So yeah, they're going to score a lot of points. I do think so. So what are you going to get out of Ole Miss in this game? And do they just put in the bat? Do they call off the dogs, or does Mississippi State call off the dogs? Does Ole Miss just pack it in when they fall too far behind? That's the question. I'd rather lay the points than go for the total in this game. But yeah, good luck.
All right. So I'm going to talk more college tomorrow. For the record, I got a bunch of videos up at the fantasy site.
And I like Calgary and the CFL on Sunday. I'll lay the 4.
I was going to say, just tell people, we'll get to the Grey Cup here in a second. I'm going to tell you, I'll blast off the ones I like. I actually like some of these MAC games, actually. So here, I'll just rattle off and we'll get into the Grey Cup, because I got a show in the morning too. I'm beaten down.
Yeah, exactly. We got to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, dude, I wake up at fucking 6:45 in the morning every day. It fucking catches up at the end of these days. College football. I don't know, man. The MAC, I'm either really right or really wrong. I split the MAC last night. All right, here we go. Thursday game. Colorado State at Air Force. Fuck, I think Air Force roll them, but I don't love it. Mississippi State at Mississippi. All right, that's the fucking Egg Bowl. It's up to 13 now. Jeez. Fuck, it's high. I misread the total. I thought it was 52. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. There was another 52 that I liked. I guess it's another one. All right. So, no, that's all there is. Where are all these MAC games? So the MAC games are all on Friday. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, there's only 2 of those college games tomorrow. Okay. So one college game I'll ask you about, and we'll get to the Grey Cup. Michigan and Ohio State. And dear God, it's up to 4.5. And I see Ted Savransky, who is a fucking Michigan grad, alum. Oh, God, fuck. What now? He's on Ohio State. Yo. What's going on?
From a point spread perspective, from an Urban Meyer underdog track record perspective, there's totally a case to make for Ohio State. Truly there is. Or what's Urban Meyer? Urban Meyer's been an underdog with Ohio State 4 times, and he won each and every one of those games outright as an underdog. 4-0 against the spread, won all 4 of those games outright as an underdog. And that's fantastic, and that's why I won't take Michigan here. Flat out won't take Michigan here. But those were different Ohio State teams than the one that he's got this year. There is something flawed with this Ohio State team. Their defense stinks right now. They can't get stops. Urban Meyer's clutching his head on the sideline after every play that goes wrong this season. They have not been the same football team since he put his stupid ass back on the sideline. Really, and it all started with that Purdue game. You know, they didn't look prepared. They looked like they were not ready mentally and locked in and ready to play football in that game. And they just haven't been the same since then. They barely beat Nebraska. They struggle like crazy last weekend against Maryland and are very, very lucky to survive by the skin of their teeth in that game. Yeah, this is not the same Ohio State team. Haskins is good at quarterback, but this is not a good defense. They're a one-dimensional offense. They haven't been able to run the football at all this year. They're certainly not going to run it, to me, up and down the field against this Michigan defense in this game. This track record of Urban Meyer as an underdog bothers me enough that right now I flat out won't take Michigan. But I don't want any interest in Ohio State either. If I had to, I'd take.
If it was 3, I'd buy in on Michigan. Like, it's getting up to 4.5 here now.
I can't get over the fact that if this has to be Michigan's time to finally beat them. We're talking about a team with a sketchy road track record. Yep,
they're only 3-7 against the spread this year. Ohio State. They really have been money burners, but they're never underdogs, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. And now this number's too rich for me. Michigan to me can win this game, and yet it smells like they could win this game by 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's not going to be good enough anymore to cash you a ticket. It could be very close. Michigan doesn't do things easily on the road. When's the last time they had a big-time, huge, massive road win against a quality foe in the Jim Harbaugh era? They had a chance against Notre Dame. They didn't get it done. Now, I do think Notre Dame's better than Ohio State, but they didn't get it done in that game against Notre Dame. They got to not only win, but win by margin here now. So it's a great game to watch. Very intriguing, but such a damn bastard of a game. Difficult in terms of degree of difficulty trying to bet this thing.
Yeah, I know. Can't wait to watch this one. Big one. Some good games this week. That Apple Cup's a great one. I don't understand the line here. Your boy Minshew's only -2.5. I think this is the year that they get it done against their rival. I think Oklahoma are going to fuck West Virginia up. It's up to +3 right now. I'm not surprised the money's moving there.
Well, nobody's stopping Oklahoma's offense, and I don't think West Virginia is the candidate to expect them to get stops and bunches against Oklahoma. Kyler Murray's just been fantastic. That whole offense, it's like they're good to score some kind of points on every drive, on every possession that they've had the ball in recent weeks. To me, this may look square as hell. This may look obvious as hell, but I'm on over the total here. You're talking about, I thought this total should have been 86, to be honest with you. I thought low 80s for two teams that are averaging mid-40s in points per game the last few weeks. You could hit 90 here easily. You could easily hit 90 points. 48-45 is a very plausible final score in this game, which gives you 93 points. The weather's going to be fine. It's going to be cold. It's Morgantown in late November, but no precipitation, no wind. I think we're going to get an all-time shootout here in this one.
Can't disagree. All right, we'll wrap it up with, what is it, the 106th Grey Cup this year?
It is Edmonton, Alberta. So Mick Aussie is, I'm sure, he'd be all in all his glory if the Eskimos were in it. But then again, he might be a fan of 6 of the teams in the CFL.
Yeah, so Mick on the morning show today. Yeah, 6 fans of the team. Mick picked Calgary today on the show.
I know he wants Ottawa in his heart because he hates
Clam Chowder checked in too. So Clam Chowder is going to be leaving. He's going to the game Saturday. He's leaving Saturday morning. So Clam Chowder called the radio show today. But yeah, Mick Austin, we had Mick on just to get a feel for Edmonton. And yeah, Mick's lived in both cities. So Mick picked Calgary to win the game. But he's actually, and it's funny because Mick doesn't like Ottawa, but he hates Calgary so much, that he's pulling for Ottawa. If anyone's caring or wondering what Mick is on in the Grey Cup, he's pulling for the Ottawa Red Blacks. He's going to.
But he picked Calgary. But he picked Calgary.
No, he hates Calgary. Yeah, he's not banned by Calgary, but I think he is. Yeah, I don't know. I think he got shit from the Stampeders for cutting that tree down. But so, what's your take on the Grey Cup, Abeno?
Well, if you're the Calgary Stampeders, you're open third time's the charm, right? I mean, you've lost the Grey Cup game 2 years in a row. Toronto and Ottawa, heartbreakers, both of them. Overtime against Hank Burris in his final swan song in the CFL 2 years ago. And then Toronto last year, I don't know how they lost that game. They were going to put that game away in the snow last year. They were 5 yards away from putting that game.
Buddy fumbled. Aiken fumbled.
Exactly. And Toronto returns it, makes it a 1-possession game when it was about to be a 3-possession lead for Calgary. And the next thing you know, Argos come all the way back and win the Grey Cup. And now here we are a year later, Calgary's back in the Grey Cup, and the defending Grey Cup champ Toronto Argos not only missed the playoffs, they fire Mark Trestman. So what a difference a year makes in the CFL.
What a difference a week can make in the CFL sometimes.
Grey Cup champs and Trestman gone a year later now. Unbelievable.
Weather, Mick told me weather's not going to be a factor.
It's not. It's going to be cold, as you would expect, but it's no precipitation, no wind. I think we're going to get points. Now, the one concern I have with the over in this game, even though I still like it, Calgary's offense didn't play well down the stretch. And it's not like they lit it up last week against Winnipeg. What did they score? 22 points, 22-14. But I saw progress from Calgary's offense. They looked better last week against Winnipeg in that West semifinal than they did down the stretch. And they got Eric Rogers, one of their top receivers, back, and he made a world of difference. Don Jackson was able to run the football for them successfully. The offensive line blocked and protected as well as they have in a long time. Finally kept a clean pocket. And it's no surprise because of that, Bo Levi Mitchell finally had an interception-free game. It had been a long time, believe it or not, Gabe, that Bo Levi Mitchell's had an interception-free game. He finally had one against Winnipeg last weekend. So finally some signs of life and improvement from the offense. And I don't think Ottawa's defense is all that great. I mean, a tough week for my Ticats, but they still moved the ball in that game. A couple of turnovers did them in. They still got into the high 20s. Ottawa's defense also could be without Jonathan Rose. He might be suspended for contacting an official last week. They're trying to appeal this suspension. They're hoping the hearing's not before Sunday, because if it isn't, he'll still play. But if he doesn't play, that's maybe the best corner for Ottawa, and that would hurt them in terms of their pass defense. I do think the Ottawa offense is tough to stop right now. I mean, Calgary's defense is good, but Trevor Harris played great last week. He's got the receivers. He's got Sinopoli. He's got Ellingson. He's got a good offense, good skill position talent, good offensive line. I think we see points, but I trust Calgary's defense a lot more than I trust Ottawa's. And you have to keep in mind, Gabe, in the back of your mind, Ottawa's in that perennially weak East Division. And again, I know the East Division team has beaten Calgary 2 years in a row. I don't think it happens this year. Calgary's talking about this is like a redemption tour, so to speak. Bo Levi Mitchell was just crushed at the end of that Grey Cup last year when they lost. I think memories of that stinging defeat lay with this Calgary team. They're going to use that as fuel on Sunday against this Ottawa team, and they'll get the job done. And let's remember the point spread, Gabe. Calgary was laying, 7.5 to 9 points in each of the last 2 Grey Cups. They were laying more than a touchdown the last 2 Grey Cups.
Yeah, I went to that game 2 years ago in Toronto. I was all over Ottawa, and I remember it was 9.5. 9.5.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons, both more than a touchdown. This year, they're only laying 4.5. So an adjustment has been made. I now think there's value on the Calgary side. I thought there was no value on Calgary the last 2 years. I think there is now, because I think we're going to get a peak performance from them, a fully PO'd, motivated core group of players, and a core group of players, Gabe, that may not be around after this year together with this Calgary group. There's going to be some changes. It's a little bit of an older team along the O-line. Some of these defenders in the back have been with the Calgary team for a while. They could be losing some guys in free agency. This could be the one last shot for this core of Calgary to come together and win a Grey Cup, and I think they'll get the job done. I'll lay the 4 with Calgary here.
Babano. Great stuff, Babano. Great insight tonight. We appreciate it. Check out Babano over at rightwager.com, rightwager.com. And of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Babano, but most of you already know that. Great stuff, Babano. Thanks for joining us. Oh yeah, and on the way out here, I know it sucked because your team lost, but how was the trip to Ottawa?
The trip was great. Lots of fun. We ate and drank like kings. I mean, the great restaurants there. The restaurants we picked were good ones. The service was good. We had lots of booze, lots of drinking. Holy mackerel! We had nothing left in the tank when we were coming back home on Monday from Ottawa. We drank a shit ton, beers and shots, and even I got into the shots, and that's a scary thing. I don't normally do that, but hey, it's like a tailgate kind of weekend. You're there to watch your team play. You got to indulge a little bit, but made it back home safe and sound, and now back to work.
back to the grind. Yeah, ESPN 6:30. I think it says it's 6:30. What's the kickoff? 6:30 Eastern.
6:30 p.m. Eastern, ESPN2 in the United States. So it's got a pretty good, little showcase for the CFL Grey Cup. ESPN2. They didn't bury it on ESPN News or one of the really low ESPNs. They gave it ESPN2. So great exposure for the CFL, and it's been on ESPN2 for a few years now.
My flight is like Sunday night at 9 o'clock, I think. So I guess I'll watch. I guess I'll be watching the Grey Cup in a fucking airport. They should have it on. I don't know. I don't even think they have TVs at Billy Bishop, but I'll see it. But I'll figure it out. I'll watch it on a computer. They have Wi-Fi there. Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to be in the studio recording at the same time the Michigan-Ohio State game is on. I'm not too pleased about that, but whatever, man. You can't rearrange your life for shit. Like, I'm going to watch the game. Like, I'll be fucking belting out the singing and shit, but I'll have the computer on with the game on, with the sound down. I'll be all right.
It should be a good game, but I think Calgary pulls it out. Calgary in the over. Calgary, but not. I don't think Calgary blows them out. I'm going to say Calgary in a 7 to 10 point kind of win gets the job done, and I think it just gets over 52.5.
Our boy Darsh has $5,000 on Calgary now.
I know a few people that have Calgary futures to win the Grey Cup too, so there's a lot of people like them.
I'm going to do it too. I'm too impatient. Fuck, the CFL season's too long, but I Calgary, like every year, you just, they were plus 400. It was a good bet, I thought. And Darsh has $5,000 now. Our boy Darsh in Vancouver. He's put Calgary in the back end of all these parlays and shit, and they've hit. And I think he bet Calgary on the money line. Like he's not fucking around. Like was it 210? That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll put Calgary.
That's not a bad option. I agree. That's not bad. Not bad value.
Calgary and an NFL parlay during the day, like Sunday. Like what's a game that'll win for sure? Like the Patriots. Fuck. There you go. Patriots stamps. Fuck. Minus 122. Money line. It's not bad.
It's a proving ground for Dave Dickinson too. Remember the one Grey Cup that Bo Mitchell won was 2014 against my Ticats, unfortunately. But John Huffnagel was still coaching the team at that time. Dave Dickinson's 0-2 in the Grey Cup as a head coach here with Calgary. So it's his, it's on his neck too to finally get over the hump and get the job done here this year in this game against Ottawa.
Good call. How's this for a parlay? New England Patriots money line. LA Chargers money line, Baltimore Ravens money line, Calgary Stampeders money line, plus 148. See, that's what I'll be doing. I'll sort of throw a couple of these together on Sunday. And, I might not win every one of them, but I'll get a few. By the end of the night, I'll go into the Grey Cup with Stampeders on some plus money parlays. But Babano, great stuff as always, buddy. Babano, rightwager.com. Great stuff, Babano. Thanks for the time, buddy.
All right, Gabe. Great as always on a Wednesday night. Thanks to everyone in the chat for watching. Good luck this weekend, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone watching in the United States. Enjoy the turkey tomorrow. See ya. Thank you, Babano. Nice to see my main man, Lucas, in the house. Your Sacramento Kings are a real team suddenly, Lucas. Good for you. You've been a loyal King fan for years, man. I know that. Yeah, we're getting screwed over here. A lot of splits going on. And, of course, I bet it under. We're not going to win it. I don't know why I do it ever. I'm an idiot. Yeah, thank you to Babano for giving us his time here this evening, and thank you for tuning in and giving us your time tonight. Give us a thumbs up and check out SBR's content throughout the day tomorrow. Some great videos. It's football day tomorrow. I'll be on from 10 to 12 myself over at Fantasy Sports Network live from Studio 34. Now that the Lions are getting 3, I'm interested getting them up to plus 10, but I got cold feet about this game. The Redskins Cowboys total is too low at 40.5. That's going to go over. I'm going to step up. I'm teasering it tomorrow, man. I don't love these games, and I'm old enough and wise enough now that I've lost a lot of money on Thanksgiving over the years forcing these fucking picks, man. Thinking, well, I don't love it, but I can't lose all the bets, and I'm not going to screw it up. I like Friday's College Board a lot, and I'll tell you who I like tomorrow night. But for tomorrow, I'm going to hit this game with some props tomorrow, and I'll tell you what. Take the long field goal prop in the Bears-Lions. It's indoors.
I think all 3 games, the long field goal prop hits tomorrow. And it hasn't hit as much. And, of course, we've been hitting these passing yard props. We'll hit that in a late-night game. Tomorrow's going to be with the props. It's like, look, I haven't cashed these. Like the other night, man, we played 6 props. We won 5 of them. You know, sometimes, you know, the props are the way to attack this shit. So check me out in the morning. Check out my Twitter. I'll be sending all the picks to the Patreons, and we'll put together our package of what we're going to be betting tomorrow. But I'm looking at the Lions plus 10 on a teaser. I like the over of that Cowboy game. I like the Falcons plus 13. I like the over 60. And I think I might get ballsy and put a small play on the Atlanta Falcons on the money line. But we'll break it down tomorrow. Other than that, you're on your own later.